Checking camera, audio. Good. We're good. Let me take a swig of water first. Didn't hydrate much today. Welcome everyone to Table Moments It's been a while. Welcome everyone to Table Moments Live. I'm your host and captain, Ayman. This is the Homies podcast where we talk about anything and everything. The live show works the same way. We also have podcast episodes that are separate recordings, purely audio, where we just have discussions with guests typically, and possibly getting into video coming soon. Experimenting tomorrow, have a guest who is a musician or rapper or artist or something who has an album coming out soon. He DM'd me on Instagram, wanted to talk about like our strategies for content creation and his success on Instagram and my success on TikTok, and see if we can like share information. And I suggested it could be a podcast episode so we can spit the game for you guys too. And you can learn from all the stuff that we've trialed and errored, or all the experimentation that we've done. So that's coming soon. Hopefully everything goes smoothly with the recording and it will be a video podcast. That'd be interesting. Obviously it's remote, but it'd be dope in 2024 to actually have a studio where we can actually fly people in, talk about cool things, and then maybe even build stuff. Or like a workshop, but then also have a place where we can talk that doesn't have a bad echo like this room does. But that's the plan for 2024. But as we've been, the thing I'm trying to do is play some music before the live stream, or at least have you guys listen to some music, some stuff I'm working on. This one's called Tutorial, this song, and I might have played it before. I don't know. I have to start keeping track of this stuff, but haven't published this one yet. But essentially I was following the Logic Pro tutorials, and they teach you how to use their software. But there was this one like loop that essentially became the baseline for this song, which is why I named it Tutorial. But I think it slaps, and here it is. Enjoy. that's the song. That is tutorial. I know it's confusing because it's like it goes all over the place. It starts off as this like bumping thing, and then gets into this dark area, and then gets out of that. I don't know. It was a hard one for me to complete because I still don't think it's right, but I think it's good enough. And usually, my strategy for this stuff has been good enough is better than not publishing it at all. That's the problem. It's like so easy to like overthink it and just take a long time just not working on it because you don't think it's good enough. Perfection you really is the enemy of the good. And I find myself in situations like that all the time. So you have to learn to let it go. Learn to let it go. And yeah, it's not as good as it should be. It's not perfect. It definitely needs work, but I can't quite find the pieces that will make it work. So might as well just release it. And I came up with this idea about music. Why does it have to be final on the first release? Right? Like with anything else, the first version is always the worst. But why can't you make improvements on it, like software or products? You know, like there's version 1, version 2. They have versioning system for software specifically, like constant updates. And so why can't music work the same way too? And just release it as you get better and better and your skill set improves. Yeah, when it's at the beginning, it sucks. And as your talent and your skill improves, you figure out ways to do it better or maybe add elements that weren't there before, make it a more complex piece, more complete, and then just release it as a second version. Like, why not? I don't see any reason why you can't do that. So I think that's the approach I've been taking, or at least I want to take. And I think that's a pretty cool strategy. Also, I was thinking like, what if music could, like, I'm thinking like, how do I elevate this music a little more? Like lyrics would be one easy way to do it. But what kind of lyrics could I add? Most people would think, all right, you got to sing or you got to rap. But what about podcast clips that are put onto it? You know? And I experimented with that once. If I'll give you guys a taste of it. This was back in February when Andrew Tate was popping off everywhere. And there's a guy, N Codex. He's on Instagram. Check him out. Where he actually makes a bunch of beats. And he saw one of my videos on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and he liked the energy I was giving. So I was like, yo, what if we made like music, like made it a cultural thing? Andrew Tate, they're trying to cancel him. So we just like create art. And so if you make it art, then you can get away with anything. Because the point of my video was like, look, the reason why everyone hates Andrew Tate is because he's saying things that most people just don't say by itself. It's okay to say all those like misogynistic, hateful stuff in a song. People talk about all this stuff in rap songs all the time. But as soon as you say it on a podcast, now people have problems. So I was like, yo, what if we put his his stuff to some music? And so that's what I did. And let's see if I can find it here. Man, yeah, Tate speech.
grand for dinner. We never had 15 grand.
My bad. I was talking and it lost connection. My bad. Microphone. Just skip. God, man, I don't know what's going on. I gotta whatever. All right, so let's see. Settings. Audio. Okay, we're good. We're good. Let's see. 1 second. A lot of things going on right now. Let me try it again. All right, so what I was explaining before the microphone cut off was a new genre of music where you use podcast clips. To overlaid on music so that it's a new genre of music. It's not rapping, it's not singing, but it's just punchy podcast conversations on some music. And specifically, I was talking about N-Codex here. Back in February, we were working together. He liked the point I was making about how people don't like Andrew Tate specifically because he's saying the stuff that I think empowers men, but yeah, it's a little shallow, whatever. But it's no worse than a lot of the things rappers say, right? And so the thing is, I was like, what if we put his conversation on some music and then maybe people couldn't criticize it. So that was the idea. And so I actually took N-Codex. He reached out to me. I was like, yo, what if we made an album or whatever? And so I found a clip from the Fresh and Fit podcast of Andrew Tate that I thought worked really well for his type of music and then made this song. Here it is. Listen, let me double check this setting. Man, I could have gone the whole stream without the microphone working. That's crazy. Okay. All right, cool. Let's try it now.
I'll tell you the coolest thing about being rich. Because I'm a little bit rich now. A little bit. The coolest thing about being rich is remember when I was broke. That's all it is. Encoding's on the track. Having money in and of itself really isn't that interesting. You buy the house, you buy the car, you buy the watches, you buy some clothes, blah, blah. It's boring. It's only cool to sit there with my brother in the fucking Nurse Rag restaurant with Salt Bay being an idiot, spending 15 G's. Do you remember when we didn't have 15 grand for dinner? We never had 15 grand in our savings account in our lives. Do you remember that time we were living off those 10p packs of noodles for 2 weeks? You need this juxtaposition. There is no light without dark. You will not appreciate your six-pack unless you didn't have one and you had to earn it. That's how the world works. So when I talk to these dudes like, oh, but you know what, Tate, yeah, I agree, but you know it's hard. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. And if you're not cut out for it, then fuck off and live a normal existence and die. Sit there, letting other men enjoy the spoils of being a man, and fucking die. If that's what you want to do, is just sit there and exist, and then fade into history unremembered. That's your decision. If you want to level up your character, then you need to get out here and do it. You need to be around brave men. You need to get some balls. You need to get your network together. Listen to the truth. Humble yourself. Stop sitting there with an ego. Realize you ain't shit. Most of you fuckers could go...
Okay, I don't think I can play any more than that. But that's essentially the idea, taking podcast clips and using it to as music, as a source of lyrics in music. I think that's pretty cool, and I think it works well, but you know what? You guys tell me. Just take a listen and put it in the comments. Let me know if it works or not. I think it works, but whatever. Me, I like weird taste, though. So let me double check the focus here. I think it keeps changing a little bit. No, okay, it's working. Cool. All right, so yeah, that's the plan. At least that was some experimentation, and we'll see how it goes. If you guys like it, then maybe I can do more of it. And so there is editing involved. You have to make the punchy statements timed with the music. You need the juxtaposition is the beginning of essentially what would be the chorus in that line, right here. And I can show you straight.
We never had 15 grand in our savings account. There is no life without...
Right. You need the juxtaposition. That's the beginning of where the chorus should be. And I timed it. If you saw this, you can see how I break up the lyrics, or at least the podcast, whatever. And so I'm like, you could do this for a bunch of stuff. Another thing I've been experimenting, I haven't been talking about it, but the instrumentals I make, I actually take some movie clips from some popular movies or whatever, and then cut up the scenes to that music. It's usually a dialogue heavy scene, and I think it's perfect because like there's no lyrics in my song, so it's a good complement for a dialogue heavy scene. So I've been experimenting with that, made a bunch of socials, and I'm experimenting. We'll see if I haven't been that consistent with it, which is the problem. Like I'm working on too many things at the same time. But I think that's another thing you could do. Like music videos are just cut up movie scenes with music overlaid on it. And you time the scenes, you cut it up, and then you make them vertical too. So these are all horizontal. They were all 16 by 9 horizontal movie scenes that I cut up into vertical. And it's not as simple as just like, oh, just cut up the section of it. And no, you have to follow where the eye is supposed to be, because on a horizontal screen, your eyes are constantly moving. When you watch a movie, pay attention to where your eyes go and where the director or the cinematographer is making your eyes go. It's all deliberate when they move the camera this way or when they focus on a certain point in that scene. It's all choices that the director or cinematographer made. And so when you take a horizontal video where there's a lot of where those decisions have been made and make it vertical, you have to make sure you match. And so constantly I have to keyframe and make sure that the rectangle, the piece of the horizontal video that I'm actually showing is matching, or at least the eye, it makes sense for the eyes. Otherwise it's too jarring. You don't notice it until you see something that's edited badly. And then you notice like, well, why is that face not centered? Why is it on the left side? It was on the right side in just the scene before. And then you can use like different cuts between scene in the scene to like hide the transitions and stuff. So it's a whole thing, and I've gotten pretty good at it because I've done it like maybe 12 times, 10 times, something like that. 10 movie scenes and then overlaying it with some music. I think, man, I've learned so many skills from just doing this social media stuff and experimenting outside of just table moments. Okay, I experiment on music, I experiment audio, I experiment with music videos and stuff like that, using movie scenes, grabbing those things, see if I can edit them in a different way and stuff like that, which I haven't even purposely shown to a larger audience yet. So it's crazy. Like people have no clue. All the stuff you see on Table Moments is only a fraction of some of the things I've done, let alone the software stuff, which I have socials dedicated to all the software content that I make, or at least the self-development and business stuff. That has over 1,000 followers across platforms. So at some point in my heyday, I was making clips, not just for Table Moments, but also the business page, and then also for the music page. Like 3. People have no clue how much work I've put into this. And I don't care to talk about it. That's the thing. Like, it's all about it. I think a lot of people focus too much on showing off. Like, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm doing. It's like, you don't need to talk about it. People will know. The truth always comes out, right? And so to me, it's like, I don't need to talk about it now. You will know what I'm working on eventually, inevitably, once it takes off. And not that I even care, because I do it for me, because I care to learn and I care to challenge myself. Now, there's certain things I'll challenge myself on, and I let my curiosity take me wherever it wants to take me. I think a lot of people, and here's the thing, I don't have the discipline to just like focus on one thing and just do that one thing. For me, it's like my mind wanders. And like, even when I'm working on these wallet stuff, like we got colors now, we got color. This is actually a gray or silver. It looks blue in the camera. I have a blue one in this envelope, but like I've been thinking about ideas and like different ways to make this and stuff. And it's just like, it's taken me way longer than I expected to actually get this done. But yeah, it's just like when I'm motivated to work on it, I work on it and I work on it heavy. And then when I'm not, I just let it sit there percolating in the background. And this is not the way to be successful, by the way. The way to be successful is to focus on one thing and just go heavy on that. But I know myself, and it's just how I operate. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's me. All right, let's get the people on TikTok though. Yeah, YouTube, you always get an extra 20 minutes. It's just how it is. And the focus for YouTube is I have some video ideas that, man, I keep talking about it, but it's just like, all right, whatever. Let me do the intro here. Hey, everyone on TikTok. Welcome to Table Moments Live. I'm your host and captain, Ayman. This is the Homies podcast where we talk about anything and everything. And yeah, when you haven't done things in a minute, it's hard to get back into the rhythm, especially when it's late at night. but it is what it is. What's up, everyone? I am not a doctor, although some of you guys think I look like one. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Sorry. I can't give you medical advice. Maybe one day it'd be cool to actually go to med school. I keep telling my girl, like, maybe, because I don't know, I see a lot of problems in medicine, and I don't expect doctors to be able to fix the problems in medicine. Doctors aren't really taught how to think. They're taught how things are. And so that's the problem. It's just like they accept things too easily because that's essentially what they're taught. That's how they're taught to learn. They're actually not even taught to learn or think. They're taught to memorize. This is how it goes. This is what it is. Here's what you find in a book. And that's how it, like, ask them to solve a problem they haven't seen before in a book or anywhere else. They fall apart. They fall apart. And so it'd be cool to take an engineering or scientific mindset to the world of medicine and actually like fix some of the problems. Like small problems, like even like why do you have, if you're a new patient somewhere, you have to like sign up months in advance and it takes a long time to find a doctor? Why? It makes no sense. But if it's an emergency and your arm's like bleeding or whatever, you can find a doctor in 2 seconds. So it doesn't make any sense. People who want to be preventative, it takes a long time. But people who are in emergency situations, it's like it can happen in an instant. So whatever though. Hey everyone, Sweetie Pie, Lucy, I'm hiding from Claudia. Claudia is an interesting name. How's everyone doing? If you're new here, my name is Ayman. I talk about a bunch of random stuff. If you look at my page, it's content about anything and everything. I do make it harder on myself by not focusing on topics that have broad appeal. So the 3 topics most people like hearing about are relationships, money, or health. Those are the big 3. And I've chosen to take a different path, which I know it's the bad decision in the short term, but I wager it's the better decision in the long term. And so I'm experimenting with my own content and we'll see how it goes. But everyone, MK3, what's up? Fave Satire account, what's up? Diamond, how's it going? How's everyone doing? I only have a couple topics prepared. The 3% rule, Virgil Abloh. I posted a video about that and explaining it through ties, using ties to explain the concept of 3% rule, not being too different. And then another video I posted was memories, how memories can be false and people have no clue how unreliable the human memory is. And then can we trust them, and think about all the applications, and especially famous people have a problem with this because your memories can be influenced by the content you consume, which is why like famous people, especially like movie stars, artists, singers, they really struggle with this because people will develop false memories of having had encounters with these celebrities that have never happened. And, that can lead to drama, circumstance, and accusations that might not have happened. And so that's the issue they deal with. And so memories are false, and it's crazy. So outside of that, though, this weekend went to a wedding, and we could talk about weddings, and those are weird too. It's like they are elaborate affairs now, and it's just like, did we take away the meaning of what marriage is supposed to be? The union of 2 people. At least if you're religious, it's becoming one flesh. But I mean, like, and I heard this on a podcast. The reason why weddings have become bigger and bigger and more elaborate, and they've become these like events, like these huge events that are hella costly, is because the meaning of marriage has diminished. And so they try to make it have meaning by turning it into a spectacle. Who's right about the 3-pointer? Comments or you? I actually looked into this. Good question, Manuel. I actually looked into this. So the rules aren't actually clear, the ones that you could search up online. The foot has to be behind the line. Now, the question is, so it's interesting that the NBA goes by the feet. The feet are everything, or at least most things. So if you treat it the same way, like the out of bounds, there's a boundary layer. There's a boundary that you can't cross, that the feet can't cross, right? or it has to have been inside. You can jump, and you cross it, but as soon as it makes any contact or crosses the outside, then it's an out. It's an out, even if it's just the toe over or whatever. But it wasn't clear about the 3-pointer, so yeah, I actually try to search a b-ball breakdown, because this is true in hockey. Like, the goal isn't a goal until a part of it crosses the line. Also true in racing as well. So basketball in the NBA is a little weird. And I don't know if the same rule for out of bounds applies to the 3-pointer. If it does, then I'm right. If it doesn't, then people are right, or whatever. I was just explaining how this is how it could have been ruled, whatever. And so I tried looking for a more detailed referee's handbook, but couldn't find it. But yeah, I was surprised I got 2.5 million views. I was just like, "Is this dumb video? It was a dumb video I made. Like, why are people?" Oh, man. And here's the thing: I regret making that video because, like, I don't care about sports. I don't watch the NBA. Like, I used to watch the NBA. I just wanted to give an explanation of how it could be ruled that way. And this is also true in tennis, by the way. Like, the parallax effect, that's essentially what it's called, where from one angle it looks like it's in, but from another angle it looks like it's out. And then what you really have to do is do the math, or you have to get another camera angle to really see. And this happens in hockey too, because the markings for the ice are underneath the ice. And so it can look like it crossed the line when it hasn't. And so that's one thing. So yeah. I appreciate the question though, Manuel. A stranger is forcing me not to eat McDonald's because they boycott it. Why are they boycotting McDonald's? Is it because it's unhealthy, or is it some like Palestine stuff? Notice that on TikTok, when someone is wrong and comments know the answer, it goes viral. I don't know, because I think a lot of people don't even know the rules. Like, because and a lot of people miss the point. They're like, of what I was trying to say. So, Gada Saleh says, you should focus on one thing to eliminate distractions. Tell us about yourself, your occupation, your age, life purpose. Not really, man. I know me, and that's how I am. So I'm showing you guys me. If this is too much or too distracting, all the different directions the conversation goes, then you're not going to like this. You're not going to like the podcast. You're not going to like the video clips I make, because there is no focus. That's the point. But I appreciate the comment. But I don't know. I don't care to promote myself. In a lot of my videos, I don't even tell people what my name is. I don't think it matters to people what my name is. And it's a good measure of how good your stuff is when you don't mention your name and then people unsolicited ask you what your name is. Once they do that, then they're invested. And so it's a good signal. So, like, I'll do it at the really, really beginning, and which is what I did for, you probably joined. Yeah, you joined a little later, but I don't care to restate it. And my name doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter for our conversation. Oh my God, are you Rod Wave? Nah, I can't sing as well as he can. It matters to you, my name? All right, well, I mean, eventually if it comes up, you know? But that's a good point, Manuel. When someone is wrong in the comment. Here's the thing, comments are constantly wrong. It's from this side of the camera, you'll be surprised how large groups of people can be wrong simultaneously and all believe that they're right. Especially when you're like giving factual information that you know intimately well. It's crazy. And I've gotten so much negative comments and hate, even innocuous videos where I just basically explain, I'm complimenting a certain group of people and they take it completely in the opposite direction. And then people are weird, man. People are weird. Social media is weird. But one of the things, by doing this long enough, you learn to toughen your skin a little bit and then not let it bother you. So like with that one video, I was like, it was a dumb video about the 3-point line. I just wanted to explain parallax. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And it is what it is. We get in Arab money. I don't know what that means, Jesse. But good for you, I guess. Is it like live golf and all that? Do you guys have a problem with like the Arabs buying all our sports leagues? Do you guys have a problem with that? Yusuf Amir, GTA 4. I don't know what you're saying, bro. I don't know what you're saying, man. My boyfriend cheated. Should I cheat back? Why? What's that going to do for you? I think you should just, if loyalty and fidelity is an important thing to you, and he cheated, then maybe find a different guy. If you don't care, then I guess that's up to you. I don't recommend it because it's like, whatever. That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Do you know how to for code? I'm not sure what you mean. Do I know how to code? Yes. Yeah, that's what I would say. I hope that was helpful. Livila Fonte. Find a guy who doesn't cheat if that matters to you. Don't cheat. Block him on everything. Never talk to him again. I guess you can. You're not gonna like to hear this answer, but learn to forgive. I'm on that like religious path lately, and I know it's a hard thing to hear. It's a hard thing to accept. Learn to forgive and move on. Like no, like vengeance. It's not gonna help you, is what I'm saying. And the Christians have it right. They have it right, but it's hard to accept because I know that feeling. I know that feeling when you've been done wrong by people. It's tough. It's tough. And I'm new in this journey, so don't take my advice on this stuff at all. So true. Yeah, Maya. But it's hard to accept, though. It's hard to accept. He doesn't deserve anything from you, not your jealousy or your love, literally nothing. I don't know. Like, learn to love your enemies, right? That's what Jesus said. It's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to like forgive him and be in a relationship with him. He's not a loyal person and you can move on. Will AI ever possess true consciousness or self-awareness? I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing. Like, what does it mean? Now we're getting into like epistemology and the meaning of like, what do these things mean? Possess true consciousness. I think it will possess the amount of consciousness a lot of normal people have, which isn't much. That's the problem. It's like, I think an AI can sound and think like most people out here. And that is sad to think about. It's very sad. If you know what I mean. Like, think about the average person you run into who just like consumes media and doesn't question anything and believes everything they see. And they're concerned with like things that don't matter in the world. AI could easily sound just like any one of these people, most of the people you run into on a day-to-day basis. And so if you want to say either, we call these people NPC, but that is human consciousness, right? And so if an AI can sound like an NPC out here, then it also has consciousness, if that's how you define it. Now, you see the problem here? And so, yeah, it's nuanced, I'd say. I'm just going to glaze like your beard. Okay. Like your glasses, like your ears, like the fit, like your shoes, bro. Don't see my chat. No, I do. It just takes me a while to catch up. I know what you mean. Oh, it's scary to think about. Yeah, dude. Like, it can definitely sound like most people out here, which is scary. But also good for those of us who can at least put together an original thought, which a lot of even content creators can't do. You guys been seeing the drama on Threads. I think it's a constant thing that happens here on TikTok where people just copy each other or they steal other people's videos. Some people lack so much creativity out here that they just leech off of people who do. God bless you, G. God bless you too, Big Talk. Big Talk. When was the last time you hit back shots? I don't know. Never. Earlier this year, maybe. Never going to do this again. Maybe a boutique a week ago. It was great. I'm not sure what you mean. Did the police set that wire up? Yeah, I know. I can kinda. No. They're more clean with the wiring. This is just a piece. And this is how you guys are hearing me, by the way, with this microphone here. I'm also streaming on YouTube and Twitch if you guys want to. It is sus for sure. I used to be a Fed, not in the like law enforcement type of Fed, but working in a government laboratory type of Fed on nuclear stuff. That's all I can say because I literally signed an NDA. I probably shouldn't even be mentioning this to you. I was kind of like James Bond, the scientist, or engineer. If James Bond was an engineer, kind of. Security clearance and everything. I did not have a license to kill, although that would be very cool. Any questions, guys? I have a couple topics, but I don't know. I'm liking this energy though. Yep, it is sus, but that's just how it is. Oh, and for those of you who are new here, we just talk about anything and everything. So if there's anything on your mind, feel free to put it in the chat. Like I appreciate that question about AI. I have some topics about like the 3% rule, Virgil Abloh's 3% rule, and then also how memories can be false. But like I can basically talk about anything and everything, and that's the point behind this podcast, where it's a conversation. There are certain things we try to avoid, like politics, because the conversation just gets dumb real fast. But if you guys want to have a nuanced conversation about it, then we can let the convo go there. Thoughts on movies Leave the World Behind in upcoming Civil War? Is Leave the World Behind the one with that Masala dude, the black family and the white family? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it means. I don't understand the point of the movie or the conclusion. It's like an end of the world kind of thing, or like there's a lot of questions left, and I just didn't quite understand that. And I don't know, like this idea, like here's the thing: you have to be careful, like the content you consume, because like the doomsdayer stuff is entertaining, but it definitely puts you in a negative mindset. And our future, it turns out, is just based on sentiment, how people feel about it. And so if enough people feel like the future is going to be bad, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We create that bad future. People are more resistive to chance or trying things. They are more conservative with their investments or their opportunities. And then there's an economic downcline and all that stuff. And it's all just a product of people feeling like the future is uncertain. And so they move in a cautionary way. But if people are hopeful about the future, people take risks, people put investments, they take opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't. And so that creates the boom. And so it's like people's sentiment drives economic output. And so, when you see a bunch of movies focusing on the negative or focusing on dark things, it ends up shaping our minds and creating the world that it says that it's trying to warn us from. It's weird. It's like the movies, or this is just a theory. I could be wrong though. Do you want to hear about my guy problems? Sure, Jalen. Christian girl with a camera. Cool. What's the last video game you beat? Dude, I can't even tell you, man. I don't really play video games like that. Man, I don't know. I don't play like story-based games. I haven't in a long time. And the one thing I could think about is like Kingdom Hearts, maybe. Like I don't like even the Modern Warfare stuff. I don't do story mode, like or like all the career modes or anything like that. I don't. I just want something I could just drop in, play a game, play a few games, and then drop out, and then just put down the controller. At least when I did play video games, and I really got into like racing simulators. So like Formula One, the F1 racing game, dude. I could lose hours just doing the same track time trial. And so I'm weird when it comes to video games. What was the last video game you beat? Did you know Thomas Jefferson's wife died 18 years before he ran for president and he never remarried? Wow, interesting fact, Evan. Yeah, cool. Views on Ryan Gosling. He's fine. I don't know. I think he's really good in some roles, and then I don't know why he takes other roles. Like the Barbie movie. I didn't watch it, and I don't know why he would, because he's actually really good in The Big Short. Really, really good. He's a good actor, though. Yes, it is. Do you want a lion? Of course. Everybody wants a lion. What is something practical the everyday person can do to make the world a better place? Live a good life. Treat people well. Be generous. That's all you can do. Start local is what I would say. I don't know. Like I have big ideas too, and I want to change the world too. And I have to realize like when it comes to like the practicality of it all, you just have to focus on your local. Focus on the people you can affect directly. Like treat your kids well. Don't hit them. Like small things like that make all the difference in if enough people do it, then I think we can live in a much better world. So that's what I would say. Treat the people in your life well, and then just work your way out from there as your means and ability expand. If they ever do. If not, then it's enough. Is J.K. Simmons top five most fearful actors in his performance? Is J.K. Simmons top five most fearful actors in his performance in Whiplash? I don't know who J.K. Simmons is. I have seen Whiplash though. J.K. Simmons. That guy. He's the teacher, the maestro. Is he top five most fearful actors? I don't know if he's fearful. He's just a hard teacher, which, I mean, when you're a student, the opinions of your teacher matter so much. I remember, I was a student once, but I don't think I could have ever been in a situation like that. There's nothing where I was just like, oh, I gotta appeal to this man or woman who's my teacher, whatever. Never. I just don't have that type of energy in me to just be like, I seek their approval. Here's a funny thing. I honestly don't like being vulnerable or in any position like that where you're like trying to appeal to some sort of authority. I hate authority. I hate control. I hate anything or anyone that tells me what to do or how to think or what to be. And so I would never find myself in a situation like that. But I guess you kind of do if you want to be excellent in that sort of space where someone can drive you so hard further than you can push yourself. So I don't know. I wouldn't call them fearful. I guess to a lot of people that would be fearful, but not to me. Craving an Irish eggs Benedict and crispy bacon and biscuits with gravy. That sounds pretty good, actually. Are you going to make it yourself, Tam? Or you're going to order it? That's a good... Yeah, I don't know why that reminds me of an English breakfast because it's Irish. And I'm pretty sure Irish people don't really like English people. I did spend some time in Europe, a little bit. It was a short Euro trip just before the pandemic. And I had an English breakfast and it left a lot to be desired, for sure. You look like Drake. That is the worst insult I've ever received. Do I look like I date who did he get knocked up? Some I don't even know how to describe it. Was she a stripper or something? Or was she an OF? I don't even know. You know what? I don't want to speculate. My bad, Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel doesn't have a beard. Do I look like Vin Diesel? Do I look like I drive a Mustang? Oh man, maybe I should. Maybe I should just lean into that. I wasn't a fan of his car though. The Skyline was dope though, not gonna lie. Or Tokyo Drift was honestly the best of the Fast and the Furious series. I don't care what anybody says. And then it just got weird because they went supernatural, or not even supernatural. They went superhero, but not quite because they don't have superpowers. But they're like The Rock is like Superman, right? In those series of movies, he just can't get hurt and he's super strong. And then Vin Diesel's maybe I don't know, the Green Lantern or something. Someone who could just make stuff happen out of nothing or with cars or whatever. It's just weird. Which do you like better, DC or Marvel? I think they both have their place. DC, I think is better in the animated series are really good. Or the animated movies are really good. They're really good. And I think the characters are more interesting or more dark in the DC world, at least in cinema, which I appreciate because they seem more real. Marvel, there's certain characters I like, obviously, but I didn't read the comics, so I can't give you any opinions on that. But yeah, DC animated is top tier for sure. And it's funny because most people don't even, I don't know, does it go straight to DVD or something? I just those could be, I don't know, and they're not as long as a feature film, but they're long enough to be a decent film to sit down and watch. And then I like how they can switch up the theme, like the Halloween edition, or different storylines with different characters, all within the same universe. It's really good. It's really good. The recent Batman was really good, straight from scratch. I haven't seen it. Crisis on Infinite Earths is about to come out for DC. Okay, definitely have to check that out. Yeah, so when it comes to the animated, DC animated, really good. Marvel, they were really good at the beginning. I often go back and watch the original Marvel movies, Iron Man, really good. Still, it ages so well. And then it just got worse. It got worse over time. I don't know why. I think around maybe after Civil War, things just started getting weird. But I like when they tackle interesting moral dilemmas, and I'm not sure if I don't know. It's interesting. So, but I have never read the comics, so I can't even give you any any opinions on like the characters themselves or how they were supposed to be. And so, but if I had to choose DC for sure, and then certain characters of the Marvel, that's what I would say. Marvel, I don't know. It's a shame what they've become. As soon as the Disney acquisition happened, things just started getting worse. Like, of course, they were gonna neuter the edginess and the creativity. Like, I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy again. Really good. Second one, not so good. And the third one, meh, forgettable. Forgettable. And I think it's like whatever magic they had in the beginning is gone. It's a shame. And here's the funny thing with a lot of creative work, that's what essentially happens. Once they go mainstream, man, it's a shame. It's a shame because it's like they had something good. If they could just stick with it or even know when to end it. Like maybe they should have just ended it after Endgame. Because even Endgame I was just like, yo, really? Time travel? Like, come on. Is that what happened in the comics? These new Avengers are trash? They are, dude. I don't even know. Like, why bother making these movies? I guess if you know it's basically going to print because people are going to go watch Marvel. Here's the thing. I don't watch Marvel movies anymore. I don't go to the theater to watch these things. No. No. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're seeing it in the box office viewership decline. And they're going to blame it on like COVID or whatever. It's like, no, your stories suck now. You made them worse. Whatever magic they had is gone, or whoever was making them at the beginning is no longer there. And it's just a shame to see good work or good legacy get ruined by people who don't understand. And oh man, it's just a shame to see when creative work gets neutered like this, because it happens in everything. Everything. It even happens with content creators online who start off really cool and really raw and real. They don't have to be raw. They just have to be real and authentic, right? But then as soon as money gets involved and they start getting brand deals and they get a more clout, a wider audience, all of a sudden, they start being these like their shells of their former selves. And there's certain things they just won't talk about. They're afraid about the income because now they have people relying on them because they've employed people to help them make bigger and more interesting content. But it's just weird how this like, man, as soon as you start getting big and success and you start appealing to a broader audience, it ruins the art. And so I'm thinking like, what if we could fix that problem? I don't care to ever get to that point where I can't just be honest and real with you guys. I don't like, why? What's the point? What's the point of all this? Doing all this stuff just for money? Like, I can get a job somewhere. It's like, no, I do this because I like being honest. I like having conversations, open conversation with you guys. Strangers on the internet, Khalil. I've never met you before, but I've never seen you on these lives. But guess what? Now we're having a conversation and we can talk about anything. Man, and I like being just honest and real with people. And you guys will get, if you stay here long enough, you'll get a chance to see how raw and real I can be. Like, I've definitely toned it down, especially lately, because I found God. It's just a weird whatever. But so I don't even curse anymore. I literally had a conversation with my dad. My dad watches these live streams, which is weird to think about, but he noticed the changes in me. And it's a spiritual change. It's a spiritual change. It wasn't a strategic content decision. It was literally, I've changed as a person. But whatever. Hopefully James Gunn can get the DC universe bigger and live action could be as good as animated. Exactly. I think people would say we look alike. Yeah, I mean, all black people look alike, right? You look like who's that black guy in the Cosby Show? Theo? You look like Theo, bro. Which is a cool look. Also, a very cool hat, bro. Very cool hat. It works for you, man. I don't think I could pull off a hat, like a brimmed hat. Although I do live in Texas, I recently moved here a few months ago. I've been experimenting with a bolo tie. I think I might just do that. Wear a bolo tie with a dress shirt, and then see if I can incorporate a hat and maybe some boots, because cowboy boots look really comfortable and they're easy to slip on. I thought you were going to say Cosby himself. Nah. Cosby has a unique look, and I don't think anyone wants to be called Cosby. Although there was one episode of the podcast where we talked about the names that were chosen for the characters in the Cosby Show were specifically white names. If you think about it, all the names in the Cosby Show. Cosby Showcast. Cliff is the main character. That's a white name. Theodore, that's a white name, typically. Claire, the wife, that's the white name. Vanessa, Rudy, Denise, Sandra, Elvin, Olivia, Russell, Kenny, Martin, Pam, Anna, all white names. They strategically chose white names for black characters to make it more acceptable. It's a good strategy. To make it more acceptable to a white audience, or at least a general American audience. So, yeah. Fun fact about the Cosby Show. Now we're there. It's funny because I posted a video like a couple weeks ago. It was a parody of that trend that's going on TikTok where they're like, we're content creators. We're always thinking of video ideas. We're content creators. We carry our camera everywhere we go, kind of thing, Except we're black people who sound white. Of course we sound like we've read books before. We're black people who sound white. Of course we're every recruiter's wet dream, and stuff like that. And I posted that video. It didn't do that well on TikTok, but it's at like 3 million views on Instagram. Yo, it's hilarious because the comments are even funnier. A lot of people just completely missed the point that it was satirical. And it was also missing the point that this is what every black person who grew up, who sounded a certain way, got that from other black people. And it's weird, people in the comments not understanding that, who'd never experienced that because they weren't someone who was called sounding white. But everyone who did knew the point of the video was satirical. Yeah, exactly, Clue. Exactly. And so it's a whole video, and it's interesting that it could get 3 million views on TikTok or on Instagram, but only I don't think it's broken 20,000 on TikTok. It's weird, but it is what it is. But here's an interesting fact about Instagram. People think I'm white on the phone. Exactly. One of the things I said in there is we're black people who sound white. Of course, they're delightly surprised in the interview after the phone screening because you sound white. And then I think one of them people didn't like was we're black people who sound white. Of course white people trust us. Wouldn't you? They hated that. Oh, and then there was one about we're black people who sound white. Of course we went to Afrotech this year and last year and the year before that, all on the company dime. I thought it was a funny video, and a lot of people thought it was funny. And the interesting thing about Instagram is if you can make a video that people will share in their stories, that's how you go viral. And I've done that 2 other times on Instagram. And it's just interesting. I have a childhood friend down the road and has the same issue. He's messed with all the time. Yeah, and here's the funny thing. It's other black people who say that, which is why it was funny to me in the comment section. Black people were like, oh, this is making black people look bad, or it's self-hate, they said. It's just what are you talking about? This is the experience most people who sound like us had growing up by other black people. It's crazy. They don't know. And it's just whatever. And so there was a few of those, but then a lot of the comments were on my side anyway. So it's just how it goes. A lot of people didn't even get the satire either. They thought I was bragging. I was just making a joke. Comedy. That's it. And that's another tip for social media. If you can make something funny and other people find it funny, they'll share it. And that's how you can get virality too. So just tips. Fun light skin things. Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not even light skinned. It's just the lighting here. The lighting setup I have. My skin's between, it's maybe slightly darker than a brown paper bag, I think. Or maybe just at a brown paper bag. I don't know. Most people I think would describe me as on the darker side of skin. Oh no, I meant myself. I'm not sure my previous comment or hidden. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. but okay, Noodle Cat. I love cats, mutual aid, blues dancing, and caramelized onion cheese. That is interesting. Caramelized onion cheese. I don't even know what that is. Oh, no, no. Caramelized onion with cheese. Do you put that on a sandwich or something, or is it just like you just eat it? That could be an interesting dip. That could be an interesting nacho dip. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I know light skinned people probably have it the worst, especially if you sound like me, if you sound like us, like a black person who sounds white, and you're light skinned. Man, I don't know. That's got to be a tough. It's cheddar with caramelized onions in it. Huh. Like on some bread? Do you put it on some bread? Oh, we don't have it the worst? I don't know. What's worse? Like people hating you because you're fair skinned and you sound white, or being dark skinned and discriminated against? Possibly. Here's the thing. Yo, it was funny. I actually even posted, there was this one TikTok lady who talked about how having a white audience is better than having a black audience, apparently. I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, in a country that's mostly white, despite what they say on the news about like immigration and how the country is becoming brown, whatever, country's still 65% probably white. And so in America, if you want to appeal to the broadest number of people, appealing to white people is generally the strategy. And so, like, if you make your content specifically for black people, then you're only dealing with 13% of the population at most. And if you understand how these social media platforms work, where they test your content with a small cohort of people and then grow the audience, or test it with larger and larger audiences, that first 100 or 200 people they test it with will majority be white. And so if your content is made for black people, it's not something that appeals to a white audience. And it's essentially, when they test it with that initial group, it won't perform as well. And so it doesn't go to a wider audience. And this is the fundamental flaw with social media. It's the way they work these days. And I don't think people get it. I don't think people get it. And that's why, like, you hear Mr. Beast say things like, oh, the audience, just replace the algorithm with the audience. The audience is what, it's just like, yeah, he has a point, but he's also wrong, because like, it's easy. If you just appeal to people's vices and you appeal to the type of person they are, or at least the majority, then you're going to make things that appeal to vices, people's base desires. So think about money, food, sex, health, relationships. Those are the big, like, general topics. So those are the things like food is gluttony, money is greed, and sex is lust, and all that stuff. So appeal to people's vices and then tailor it for a white audience. And that's how you win on social media, because of the way these algorithms are structured and the way they work, by testing your stuff with smaller groups of people and then working out. So it's just like, when people say the game is rigged against black people, they kind of have a point. It's not intended to be. It's just structurally based on the demographics of this country for this type of the audience in America. That's how it fundamentally works out. And so it's not like racially motivated. It's just the natural consequence of the structure of it. The system just naturally discriminates, which is, I think, a big flaw in this stuff. But, well, what do I know, huh? But people who are winning off of this system won't complain about it, and people who are losing don't really have a voice. And so what do we do? And I have some ideas on how to fix this. I do some softer stuff on when I feel motivated. So I'm thinking there could be a softer solution to this, to overcome these algorithms. And I'm starting to get that with like the way I've made my content, so that people share it with each other. So you're not beholden to the algorithm specifically. You're beholden to actual people who share it. This is classical virality. And I think if I can teach this to other people, then maybe we can help black voices or anybody else. Let me catch up with comments though. The latter, let's see. Just eat it, the latter. What my ex said, he was Hispanic because his family was from Spain. Yeah, kind of. That's the thing. Europe, they don't see white as one thing. Like, there is no such thing as white in Europe. There's all these different like countries and regions. What do you think of these rappers, musical artists? I think they find themselves in this tough situation where the system rewards people who can blow up. So essentially that means you're going to have to do promotion, and you're going to have to do promotion the way it's done today, which is like those quick hits that people can make viral videos off of, which sucks for the content and the music itself because it is dumbing it down for sure. But at the same time, like if you're trying to win and make some money off of this, you have no other options. So it's a tough position I think a lot of rappers are in. Even mainstream ones too. They have to play this stupid game as well. So like Doja Cat and Cardi B, they they actually fund people. The TikTok has a program where they reward people on using songs that these artists are about to release. So mainstream artists are playing this TikTok game too. It's a shame. It's a shame. KD, hi, I finally got over my ex. You're well. Oh, awesome. Good for you, KD. If you're the I don't know if you changed your username or if you're the same person who was talking about that one time. Yes, Queen Slay, you go girl. Yes, lady, go honey. Sticky waffle. Nice to see you here again. I'm simply just a girl. I feel like if you have to say that, you're not, but okay. But I got fevers every day for no reason, tumor removed, and may have something serious. Ooh. Maybe read Weapons of Math Destruction. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm always looking for new books. Weapons of Math Destruction. Ooh, who's this written by? I don't know this one. I don't know this author. But at least I'm over my ex and I have a new boyfriend. Okay, cool. Good for you. So do you think these rappers tailor to a white audience? It don't look like it, but their crowds are usually white. I mean, Lil Wayne, there's a clip of him talking about how like my audience is white. How can I hate white people? I don't know if they tailor it. Cause like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what appeals to like the white teenager. Think about those things. And is there overlap? I don't know if they purposely tailor it or they just make stuff that appeals to like the white teens. But it generally, yeah, those are the ones who blow up. Like, yeah, Lil Wayne talks about this. He's like, I can't hate white people. White people are my audience. They're the reason why I've come up. They're the reason why I'm winning. Like, how can I hate them? Yes, it's me. Oh, okay, you changed your name. Hi. Hey, Green Star. How's it going? Melanie and Lumi on top. Katie, dang, you getting beat up? No, there's some history here. Oh, hell nah. Today ain't Sunday. We need you to get the the thread snip right. Yo, dude, I was recording it with one hand. Of course, you're going to be the one person in the comments just like, bro, you didn't cut all the thread off. Who cares? I just don't need it loose, okay? And I was wearing a jacket. It was the back, whatever. I didn't care. You're such a Jose. Yeah, I know. I missed yesterday. I was traveling. I was at a wedding, close friend of mine, it's wedding. Of course, I didn't post any content related to that because some things should remain private. Which I don't know. Like, how do you guys feel about it? Content creators who share everything about their life, like everything is content to these people, and I think there should be like a line you don't cross. Personal lives, friends, family. Those people should. Those are people who are not in the game. Okay, they're like civilians. And we're mercenaries or we're like combatants, okay? Like it's a weird way to frame this, I know, because it's just making videos online, who cares? But like when you're in this public facing game, you're out there, people can criticize you, people can hate you, and that's part of the game, which is why I don't like these content creators who are like, I'm gonna block comments, I'm gonna block people because they're being negative. Nah, bro, that's the game. That's the game, and if you can't handle it, you have no business playing it. But civilians don't do that. Regular people aren't in it like this. So I think their privacy should remain private. So that's how I feel about it. There's a code to this, guys. There's a code. What are the biggest scams in the world right now that people don't think are scams? Should I say vaccines? No, not vaccines generally. Although the moms have a point. The moms, the ones who are seeing patterns in their children, they have a point. And once you start looking into it a little deeper, you start questioning like, why are we giving a Hep C vaccine to infants, to newborn babies? Like the only way you can get Hep C is through sexual contact or if the mother has it. And if the mother doesn't have it, how the hell is the sexual contact going to happen? And so then why are you giving it to a baby? And so it's just like, you start questioning a lot of these things and you're just like, I'm not saying they don't work. They do work. But But when you give them to an entire population of people, there will be outlying cases, and people don't know how extreme those are. And so when these moms complain about these things that they're giving their babies and the schedule, look at how many vaccines a baby gets or kids get. It's kind of crazy. And it's just like, why are you giving them all within the first? Oh, so we want them to be protected. It's just like, or you're just trying to make money off of it, which is the crazy part. That's the first thing that came. But there's a bunch of stuff I could say, bro. But wait till you find out, like, a lot of the vaccines that we give kids have never been double blind studied, because at the time, decades ago, it was deemed cruel to do something like that. Although you could test it if you took some like international stuff. The audience does appreciate the beard trim. I did it a few days ago, but okay. Did you end up going with that cowboy tie? Never got to that point. Like I was part of the grooms. What do they call them? One of the groomsmen. I was one of the groomsmen, and they had a tire. They gave us ties and like a handkerchief or a pocket square. I never switched it out because it was all like a bunch of pictures, man. We spent like almost 5 hours taking pictures. Like all the stuff you see in a wedding video, it's all orchestrated, guys. It's not candid. It's not spontaneous. It's all orchestrated. And man, my wedding, it's all going to be candid photos only. I'll just tell people, look, party, enjoy the food, have a good time, dance. And there are photographers wearing like gold vests or whatever in the room. If you want to take some pictures, just grab one of them, but they'll be taking pictures throughout the thing. And then you guys will have access to all the photos and videos afterwards if you want to use them for social media or whatever. Because, I'm a content guy now. And so I'm like, everything's content. But yeah, I never got a chance to wear the cowboy tie. Although it's really cool though. Stanley Cups. Oh yeah, that's your theory? Scams? I don't know if it's a scam. I think it's just like a regular thermos. Like I have this one. This one I got off of Amazon, VBV. But there's a Walmart brand, or at least they're sold in Walmart, called Tal, Tal, which is just as good. I just had to replace that because I dented it and it started getting rusty on the inside. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I don't know what that is. Thoughts on Cat Williams? I think it's great. Cat Williams is up there with Charleston White and Cat Williams. Those are characters. Kanye is also in that group too. People who are just so interesting. The host of these podcasts don't have to do anything. It's great. Like the sound bites that come out of it, it's a good episode, and they're an interesting character when a bunch of people start taking clips out of it. Just dropping fire with every statement. It's crazy. And I appreciate everything, all of it. So I'm with Cat Williams on this for sure. College prosperity gospel pastors. Toxic happiness might be another term. Certain insurance, healthcare in US. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are just scams. So many. We're surrounded by scams, and then you start realizing like a lot of commercial enterprises are essentially scams, or at least bad for their customers. But the customers don't realize it because they think they need it. And you start, like I've been reading this book, Anti-Fragile, and how one of the subjects I'm reading right now is about how less is more. And it's often true. Less is often way more. And by overcomplicating things, you just get in the way of like things just working. And so I think there's a huge opportunity to take a lot of the existing things that we have and just removing things to make it more efficient, or get a lot of the complexity out so they can be simpler and easier and more affordable. And this is in the context of pretty much everything. So that's some of my ideas on that, but I'm with you on this, Khalil, for sure. But what are your thoughts on Cat Williams, Jose? Can you have any thoughts on him? Or I think he's dope. I think Cat Williams is dope. And here's the funny thing, it's just like, I don't know, just based on all the stuff he was saying, I appreciate a guy who's willing to say this stuff. A lot of people don't want to talk. They're like, I've been scammed before, I've been hurt before, I've been ostracized, these people did these things to me, but they never mention names. It's like, I'm not going to mention any names. Why not? Mention names. We got to know who the shady characters are out here, okay? because the next person is going to get God unless they know. But I don't know. Whatever. People are too afraid because it might cost them opportunity in the future. It's like, no. If you do me wrong, people will know. I have a platform, okay? Or at least I can speak, okay? I hate it when people say I have a platform. I don't have a platform. It's all borrowed time, guys. Like, they could kick me off tomorrow. I could say the wrong thing. This live could get banned, which has happened before. And it is what it is. Yo, Curry is in the house. What's up? How's it going? Caleb Summers, I lost the game. What game? Oh, it's going to be a sexual thing. I know it. I'm nothing special. LOL. You are special. You're special in God's eyes, Caleb. Everyone's special. God loves you, man. I don't want to be one of those preachers, but like the Bible hits. It's not, I promise. Okay, cool, Caleb. All right, we're good. I don't know. I'm just highly suspicious of things now by default. Anytime I see someone leave a obscure comment in a chat, no. I know it is. I know what it is. I'm gonna Google it anyways. The game meaning. Social phenomenon game where the goal is to avoid thinking about the game itself. Okay, that's not what I thought. Never mind. I was hoping it would be something more lewd. Google it on my life. Yeah, no, it's nothing sexual. I lost the game. Why do people say I lost the game? No, yeah, you're right. You're right on this one, Caleb. All right, cool. Yeah, okay. Cool. How's everyone doing though? Hey, Shauna, how's it going? Maybe I was thinking about formalizing this whole live. Like, yeah, like Jose mentioned, it's a Monday. I normally do these on Sundays, but I traveled yesterday and I was just too tired to actually go live. And I schedule, or at least I make a note to myself to go live once a week. But I'm thinking like maybe I should like actually make this a thing. Well, I don't know if I could do this every day. I've been talking for an hour and 13 minutes right now, but if I could do this every day on different platforms, maybe I just dedicate to a platform. Because right now, I'm on TikTok with you guys. I'm also on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. With a couple of people watching, I don't know. Gada Saleh, I don't know if he's still here, but it says 2 people are watching in the corner. But maybe I should just dedicate to a certain platform and make it unique for that one thing. And then every show is going to be different. So you can follow. So then it could be like a daily thing. And because like I've been, man, some of these streams, the longest I've gone is like 5.5 hours or something, which, I mean, like my voice suffers after it. Like I can already feel it happening. But like maybe I should do something like that, like Instagram 1 week or 1 day, YouTube 1 day, Twitch 1 day. But here's the thing, the YouTube and Twitch audience isn't that big. Instagram would be interesting. Maybe I should do live on Instagram because I recently had a few videos blow up. So I think it's at 49,000 followers right now. So all organic, by the way. So maybe I'll start doing that. You're officially a part of the game now. Have a great night. Thanks, Caleb. You and I have similar thoughts and interests. Is content creation your full-time job? I guess you could say that, but it doesn't make any significant amount of money. I'm trying to get into e-commerce right now, and using this page, this podcast page, as a way to promote products that I've designed. So, like, this is a great, thank you for that question, because now I can share it with you guys. So one of the things I really appreciate is minimalism, and I hate how wallets are so thick. So I designed a wallet that's as thin as I could make it using tools that I could make. And I think that might be the way to fund this podcast in a sustainable way. I've made a handful of dollars from like views on TikTok and promoting other people's products, but I think that still makes you beholden to other people, and it's not consistent either. And I think it'd be cool if like, because I'm an engineer by training and I like designing stuff. Now this isn't complex machinery, but it's still stuff I've designed, and I use a laser cutter to cut these wallets out of ripstop material, and then I fuse the material because it's a nylon, so it's a thermoplastic, and you can actually fuse the edges. And so instead of using thread and sewing it, I fuse the edges, and so I think it's pretty cool, and get it really thin, and the touch time is very low because it's just fusing. Basically, how much effort you have to put into making the product, and I make them myself too. And so I have a laser cutter here. I got a bunch of material. I've been experimenting, and now we got colors. We got different colors here. And essentially, this is the black one, and this is a thin wallet, very thin. That's the idea. And it has card slots and everything. And I design it for me. I design it because I like it, and I actually use it every day. So, where's my wallet? My wallet's over there, but, and then I got like a heat press and all that stuff and all that. So that's the idea to monetize. And lately I've been working on packaging. Like, it's not enough to just design the product. You have to design the packaging, the unboxing experience, because that's how you can charge a premium. Now, I'm not going to charge a premium. I was just going to charge $19.97, basically $20. But the packaging is really important. And the cool thing about a product like this is it can be shipped at a very low cost, essentially the cost of a stamp, which is 66 cents. Let me catch up with comments and I'll continue. I'm an electrical engineer, 36-year-old, no experience yet. Your advice, please. Build stuff, man. If you're an electrical engineer, man, you can build stuff. Wait, you're an engineer? Are you like a maintenance engineer, like a hotel maintenance engineer? No, like a mechanical engineer. That's what I'm formally trained as, a mechanical engineer. I was, and then I got into business operations because engineering got boring. And then I moved on to like content and podcasting and all that stuff. And now trying to turn this into a sustainable thing. And I think e-commerce might be the way. And so that's what I figured. The product is chosen specifically because I can get the shipping costs low. And yeah, and this is the package. At least the one I'm going with right now, a black envelope, because it would be dope receiving this in the mail with a stamp on the corner, 66 cents. So shipping is going to be, because the minimum you would pay for shipping, ground shipping, USPS is $4. Instead, by putting it in an envelope, because it's a thin product, I can drop down the shipping cost to 66 cents and pass off the savings to you. And then the next step was packaging. Like, what does the unboxing experience look like? So I started like designs and printing and stuff like that. So that's the unboxing experience, and boom, there we go. This is what the unboxing looks like. I know it's reversed, but it says a Table Moments project. I think that's pretty cool. And then it opens up like this, and it's pretty cool. And then that's the wallet itself and QR code to the website. I still got to work on the copy here. I haven't figured that out. Rounded corners, which you don't think would matter, but they give it a more premium feel, and all in an envelope. And then finally, the cool thing about this, because of how much it costs to make and how efficient the shipping and everything is, I can include something with this, a free gift, which is eventually, I have to order more of these because I can't guarantee them with every order right now because I don't have enough. But I want to include, I'll show you guys. I want to include, right here, 1 second. I want to include a $2 bill with it. And this is real money, guys. I ordered this from the US Mint. Yeah, I want to put a $2 bill in there. And so you open it up and you see a $2 bill with your wallet. I think that's a pretty cool flex, and all for $20. And I think that's how I can sustain and make this a income for the podcast so we can work on bigger projects. So that's the plan for 2024. If I order one, can you put a $100 bill in mine? This is a funny thing, because the first order I got, if you remember, Jose, this wasn't even the original design with this like nylon fabric. It was originally with a clear, transparent plastic. And it's a crazy idea. It was a clear fold, which is why I made that video about Virgil Abloh's 3% rule, because my clear wallet was more than 3% different than what people expect. And so to a lot of people, it just was a crazy idea. But I did get orders. I got a total of 5 orders, and people bought it for $15 a piece. And the first person to order one, I included $100 with it, just as an appreciation for supporting a crazy idea. So I can't guarantee yours is going to have a hundo in there, Jose, but it could possibly have a $2 bill. And so I don't want to make the guarantee that I can include the money until I've secured enough of these $2 sheets. But yeah, I'll just throw them in randomly as orders come in as a free gift. And I think it's interesting marketing, because like people are like, yo, I got this $2 bill. Check this out. They're going to post it on social media. It's like, how'd you get that? I bought this wallet from the Table Moments podcast. And boom, that's what I'm thinking. But I just think it's cool that I can do that. I live in Texas too. Nice. Where in Texas? I'm in Austin. This is sus. I don't feel like a real person. You seem like a real person, John Anthony Cruz. What's the biggest annual salary you've had thus far? Just under six figures, but that includes a bonus. And I was living in upstate New York, so cost of living was far lower than most people expect. Should I lie on my resume? Yeah. I mean, enough that you can be able to talk about it on your resume. Unfortunately, that's what it takes. I don't like lying, but it's what you end up having to do. Because if you know you can do the job, and there's certain things like, oh, we need 5 years of experience when really 2 years would be enough. You should be able to judge that based on the role and the level of the job. And so if they say 5 years, you can embellish a little bit on that, switch up the dates maybe. You got to be able to do the job though. And so that's the one thing I would say. Just be careful about that. Very cool. Thanks, Pilot Pete. Hey says, let's see. Oh, Ryan, what's up? Yeah, I know. Was coming, man. But if I order one, yeah, $100 bill in mine. The $2 is a nice touch. I know it's a nice touch. That's why I was like, came up with the idea. I was like, yo, this would be so cool. And here's the thing with e-commerce, like it's not enough to just, I can't sell you guys this at cost, right? Because there's all these additional fees or like costs that come with e-commerce, like the packaging, the envelopes. These cost 22 cents a piece, the envelope itself, because it has the gold trim on there. Now, I have envelopes that don't have the gold trim, which are like 6 cents a piece. But that gold trim matters because it's way better of a flex. Imagine getting this in the mail versus just a plain black. And I like black because it'll stand out when you're collecting your mail. You will see this. And I think black is sort of the theme for Table Moments. These sheets here are like 2 cents a piece. I even bought a printer so I can print these myself. I cut them out myself. And I just ordered some credit card sized cardboard pieces to be able to print some copy material on there and include them in the wallet. So like these, so when you open this up, you're gonna actually see there'll be a piece of paper in here that's the shape of a card with some like text on there. I'm not sure what the text is gonna be, but that's an option I'm including. And the cool thing about this, which I really like, is when you pull this out, there's more text and it gives you the product description. I think that's pretty cool. So product design, this took me a while to figure it out, to finally get it. But all these costs, and then not only that, if I want to grow the brand, I'm eventually going to have to run some ads, and the cost of acquiring a customer also has to be incorporated in the pricing of the product. So essentially what I'm looking for, which is probably twice as much as what most e-commerce brands do, is I'm looking for a 10 bagger. So whatever it costs me to make this in total, to ship it including, I multiply it by 10 and that's my price for this. And you're like, oh, that's kind of extreme. It's like, well, if you account for all the costs that come into e-commerce in order to make a decent profit that you're not going to be losing money on every sale, you kind of have to do a multiple like that. Well, most people do 5. I'm not interested in anything less than 10. And this one is a 10 bagger. So that's why I'm doing it. And I think it's cool because it's value for you guys, because you cannot get a thin and light wallet like this for less than $30 right now on the market. If you look on Amazon, there's a similar wallet that goes for $57. And so it's like, to me, I'm giving you the delta in the value versus 57. I'm selling it for $20. And I get to make a lot of money on this too, which I can, or at least a decent amount that I can run ads and get new customers that way. Because I don't think I can just rely on the Table Moments audiences. Although they are big, I think the percentage of you guys out there who might appreciate a minimalist wallet might be a small percentage. So eventually I'm gonna have to run some ads, and I need to incorporate the cost of the ads in the pricing of the product itself. But I think it's a good enough value, and I'm always constantly thinking about how can I improve it even more without adding to the cost of the product itself, but increases the value of it. And so like small things like the packaging matters. And so it's like all these things that you start learning on the e-commerce side. It's very interesting. You are so smart. I appreciate it, man. I do remember. Wait, are there different colors? Yeah, there are different colors. So now we have 5 colors. So we have the navy. I think someone requested navy once. Someone who ordered the clear wallet requested a navy. That's coming. Navy looks good. We have the red. This is a bold color. This is a very bold color. I dig it. It's more of a burgundy. And I also have logos. I have logos that I'm gonna be putting in the corners. You can see it here, the Table Moments logo. That's the logo I'm experimenting with, that I'll be heat pressing on the corners. And then, you know, it's gold. It matches the envelope. Then we have gray or silver. I don't know. It depends on whatever your eyes see. We have green. This is pretty cool too. This is like an olive green. Cool. And then finally, the original OG black. The original OG black. And I was thinking even doing like a blacked out logo. That would be kind of cool. Just like, yeah. So 5 colors. Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah. When are you going to make a talk with your new wallets? Haven't seen any. Yeah, I got to take some pictures, man. I've been putting that off. I've been traveling the last, for the holidays. And so like I got to take pictures. I got to put the logos on there. And then I got to make the product listings. And then I got to make the videos. How much do you make off of a $15 sale on TikTok? So a $15 sale minus shipping. So shipping is $4. So already it's $11. And then, tax, I think comes up. No. I think it's about $10, $10 off of that. But then the cost of the material. So for the clear wallets, those were 10 cents a piece of material, but I'm not counting time, the labor costs, because those were kind of difficult to make because of the equipment I have. These are easier to make because I use a laser cutter, if you can see here. Or maybe if I use a lighter color here. Yeah, these are laser cut. And it's important that they're laser cut because this is nylon and it actually fuses those edges so they don't fray. And so that's the cool thing. You have to use a laser cutter for these, which I ended up using my TikTok earnings to buy. So that was pretty cool. So I make about $10 on a $15 wallet. That's the listing price. Now, if there's a sale price, I don't know. I haven't done any sales. And then, the cost of the envelope, the cost of packaging, whatever. And so it's like probably $9, $8, something like that, after Houston. Oh, nice. Okay. Sorry. What are you sorry about, Rostech? PC gaming managed by adult. Instagram, Bentley.ayers.14. Send setup for me to rank. Interesting. Like tech setup? Telling the truth won't give you the job. Facts, Ryan. Unfortunately. Facts. Have you been? I've been good. How have you been? Snickerdoodle. It's been a minute, huh? I love the envelope. Yeah, I know. It took me a while to figure out. Man, your first time is always slow. And it's just like, I spent a long time thinking about the packaging and just trying to figure out, like, what can I put it in? And then I was like, all right, I've been doing these like white envelopes. Here's a funny thing. I can't just put a stamp on here, write your address, and then send it. Because apparently USPS sorting machine cannot read white text on black envelope. This is a problem with wedding invitations. People want to get fancy with like different cards, different colors, different themes for like the envelopes of their wedding invitations. But the problem is it has to be hand sorted because the machine can't read them. And so for these, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put white stickers and put black text on them. Unbelievable, man. All these little things that you don't expect that you would have to run into, all these problems for something simple, right? Like even like doing these rounded corners here. They don't seem that big of a deal, right? It's just like, oh, that's cool. But it gives it a much more premium look. Just a small little touch, and that required using this clipper that does this like rounded corner because the sharp corners don't look as pro. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And that's the expectation, especially when you're selling stuff on TikTok. People are so used to like this drop ship stuff. And then another thing is I want to be able to ship it on time really quickly. And I want to be able to use a stamp so I don't have to charge you more expensive shipping. And if you want the option, you can use it. You can ask for it and I can give it to you. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it worth the $20 that you guys might spend on this. That's what I'm trying to do. Getting into the e-commerce game. And then I'm working on software also too. It's like 2024 is going to be the year of monetization. Figuring out if I can make this a sustainable thing into the future. And then if I can do this for myself, maybe I can do this for other people. And so like people aren't going to be beholden to brand deals or having to hawk crap on TikTok shop that isn't worth the money you're spending. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty cool. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Man, so 5 colors. And it'd be cool. The funny thing is, I shared, like, my girl, she's like, ooh, you should give one to my dad for Christmas. I was like, when you make something yourself, you're just like, I don't know if because it's personal. And it's just like, I don't know if people will feel the way I feel about this stuff, because I enjoy it. I actually really like my wallet. Actually, I can even show it to you guys. You grab it over here. I actually use mine. This is a prototype, so it's not even as nice as the ones I've been, that I just made, but I got the logo on there. I actually use it. It's very thin. And so I shared it with my fiance's dad for Christmas. I gave it to him in basically an envelope just like this. And it was an opportunity to test the product with someone who was unfamiliar with it. And when he opened it up, and my girl, she put $100 bill in there as sort of like a Christmas gift from us, and I made the wallet. And he opened it up, and he's like, "Oh wow, $100! This is awesome. This is great." Not that money even matters to him, because he's a pretty well-off guy. But then he puts the wallet down, and then she had to go like, "Wait, what was that? What was that you just put down?" He's like, "What?" He's just looking at it all weird, just like, "Huh? What is this? What is this? I don't know what this is." And then she had to explain to him, "It's a wallet." I was just like, yo, this is cringe, bro. This was so cringe. He's just like, I don't, oh, okay. Cool. That kind of like, and then she's like, Samir made it. Or me, my real name. Oh man, I just gave it away. Ayman made it. My bad, guys, my bad. But basically, she's explaining that I made it, and he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay. And then, so I was like, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, all right, whatever, that's fine. But then like a couple days later after Christmas, he calls her and he's just like, and then she puts me on speakerphone. He's like, yo, this wallet is so cool. Like, I put it in my front pocket. It's so thin. Like, this could really be a product you could sell at like Macy's or Dillard's or something. And I was just like, what? That was really cool feedback to get. So I got that, and it's like, it kind of validated this idea. So when someone who isn't familiar with the product finally, so then now I have to, from that feedback, I understand it's a communication problem. I have to package it in a way that it's clear what it is. Now, people who buy it will know what it is, because I mean, you don't just buy something without knowing what it is. But when you open it, you should be able to see and recognize what it is. And so that's the communication problem. So that's what I'm going to. And then also, people were complaining about RFID protection on the Clear wallet, even though you don't need it for credit cards, guys. Credit cards are already secure. They do this like cycling with like keys and stuff, and it needs a payment terminal, all that stuff. But I did buy some Faraday cage, or Faraday fabric, they call it. It's basically this like fabric that's made out of like copper or some sort of metal that can block radio waves. I'll put a sheet in there. You don't need it. I'll cut a piece out that you can put in the wallet, which I've been experimenting with too, and it works, but you don't need it. But yeah, that's enough on product design. If you guys have any questions, feel free. Or if you guys have any other topics, it's like you guys got me started on this wallet discussion. I could talk about so much, because it's just like, I've been working on this for a while. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Got like 5 colors, guys. That's so cool. So that's the plan. I think one of these actually has the Faraday fabric in there, but still thin, super thin. That's the plan. So might have started a brand here, a Table Moments project, and then we'll see if this can fund the podcast, and then it'd be cool to actually like bring people in. So like Jose, it'd be cool to like invite you here, or even Ryan if you want to talk about legal stuff or whatever, or like Nate Biggers says, "Hey, Daddy." Hey. What's on your mind though? Like, I could talk about, it's weird when you kind of go do stuff. I'm a CPA accountant. Oh, perfect, man. I'm sure that people need to know finance, dude. Or there's a lot of things about finance that people don't even know, like general accounting principles, or what do they call it? Gap, right? What do I look for in a man? I don't look for men. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to burst your bubble here, Nate. If that's what you're intending, or if that's what you mean, I am not in the market for men. I'm actually taken by, or I'm not taken. I've taken a woman. That's how I like to frame it. I've taken her. I've taken her. But I was, you know what's crazy? I was actually thinking about this earlier today, or I actually had a conversation with my girl, right? And she has like a decent, about an average following on social media, as most people do, like 500 whatever on Instagram. At this point, I have 49,000 followers on Instagram, right? And we were talking about people sliding in DMs at some point, and I realized, like, I've gotten 20, well, probably close to 50 million people have seen my face at some point, okay? And I've gotten people slide in my DMs, okay? Girls and sometimes guys slide in your DMs when you do public facing stuff. But it's funny because my girl, who isn't on social media like that, who has maybe like 500 followers on Instagram, gets probably just as many DMs as I get sliding in the DMs. And I was just thinking, like, look at the ratio of this. Like, 50 million people have seen my face, and I get just as many DMs as my girl gets, who isn't even public facing like that. That's the gap we're dealing with, guys. That's the gap. That's crazy, bro. Like, guys, we cannot appreciate the amount of attention girls get, especially on social media, let alone like in public where, guys are constantly hitting on them or whatever. But I was just thinking about that. Like, we have no clue. Guys have no clue the female experience in this world, and girls have no clue how dry y'all inboxes really be when it comes to girls sliding in your DMs. And you know what? Girls aren't even direct either. That's the funny thing. Like, sure, there might be a certain number who are interested, but they're not bold enough to actually slide in your DM. So you know what they'll do? They'll find your personal profile and like a few pictures. That's how they slide. They don't even slide. They just walk up to your profile and just hit a few likes. They double tap on a few photos and expect you to do the work from there. I'm just like, yo, this is wild, bro. It's like, man, guys, women, if you knew how dry, how very few responses or attention guys get, you would not want to be a dude. You would not. But, you look on the outside, you see the successful men, and you don't even realize, like, that's not the existence for most dudes. But, yeah, it's wild. This it's crazy. You guys have any opinions on that? And let's see, is my relative here? No, she left. She was on here and then she leaves. Free R. Kelly. All right. Wait, didn't he pass away? I'm pretty sure R. Kelly passed away. Wait. R. Kelly. Oh no, I guess he's still alive. Robert Sylvester Kelly. His middle name's Sylvester, guys. Did you know that? As in Sly. Should have been a sign, guys. Should have been a sign. He has rkelly.com and it's still live. Cool. Hasn't posted since 2017. Eesh. But I think Cat Willing's opinion on this, I think he mentioned R. Kelly, right? It's like everybody knew, but no one wanted to say. It's I don't know. It's just a shame. Like, people want to be all self-righteous now when it's safe to do so. But when back in the day when you could lose your career for speaking out against bad things out here, especially in entertainment and Hollywood, everyone shuts up. It's just like, it's fake righteousness is what I see. It's like when it doesn't cost you anything, people are willing to stand up and do the righteous thing. But if it does cost you personally some sort of monetary value or social value, then no one speaks up. This is the same thing with the Weinstein stuff and all that. Like, Only reason the Weinstein stuff came out and Me Too became a thing was because thank God Hillary didn't win. Because if she did, one of her biggest donors, which is Harvey Weinstein, would never have faced the music on any of this stuff, because that would be bad for her politics. You see how it's all tied together, guys? It's all tied together. I was even thinking about this on my walk today. Like, there's certain things it's fake news is not what they tell you, because it is. Fake news is not only the lies they tell you or the embellishments or the misdirections in the way they frame news pieces. Fake news is what they don't tell you. It's the things you don't hear. It's the things you don't see. For instance, Obama smokes cigarettes. Obama smokes cigarettes, but you don't see any pictures of him ever with a cigarette in his mouth. How's that possible? How's that possible? You were the president for 8 years and they don't have a single photo of you with a cigarette in your mouth? Another thing that people don't know about. Joe Biden has a daughter. Joe Biden has a daughter. But you don't know that. And why don't you know that? Well, because she has some issues. You don't know about Hunter Biden's dramas. You don't know. Man, it's just crazy. Like, the things they don't talk about is everything. That's where the news is. Degree in Yapology. This is the show, man. This is the show, OZ or Oz. Like, you're new here. It's okay. But this is generally how it goes. I'm supposed to be entertaining and talk about a bunch of stuff and somehow tie them all together. And I know this is different than most streams because, oh, I'm just playing. Okay. Fair enough, bro. That's the thing. Like, it was funny because, like, sarcasm is hard to read in text. It's hard to read. Like, there used to be this internet rule on Reddit where you put \s to indicate that what you wrote was sarcasm, right? And my default with like a lot of comments is it's hateful unless proven otherwise. And so, like, either I explain it away or I clap back. That's sort of my like my first reaction. But sarcasm is hard to read on text, which is why you sometimes get that energy from me. And so if I've ever offended you in the comment section or whatever, or you were trying to be friendly or you were supporting, but I gave you some smoke, just know it's because I couldn't tell. I feel you, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Because, facial expressions and stuff like that, the subtle communication that you can't read in text, you just don't see when it's just a comment. I hate the lack of critical thinking in society now. I also hate the book bans too. What books are they banning though? And what do they mean by book banning? Like, I remember that stuff. People were like talking about Florida libraries or whatever. Like, they're banning books. And it turns out it was just, they reached the lifetime, the life of the book. There's a certain period that the book can be in circulation for before it has to be removed because it's just been, books wear, especially over time. And they try to frame it like book banning. I was just like, they're not banning the books. They're just getting rid of the books because they're too old. As in, like, physically old. They have to be replaced. And so it's just like, that's fake news again, And I saw like 4 years of this during the Trump presidency, which is why I'm sort of like immune to this stuff. By default, everything's false unless proven otherwise. And even then, they can't just give you the straight facts. It's always got to be like some framed in some dramatic way that isn't true. It's crazy. I forgot to wipe again. Shake my head. Okay, little Johnny Cheddar, no bio. Oil up. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yo, bruh. Nah, it's fine. I just flushed and on my second shit now. You next. All right, guys. Now we're talking about toilets. Awesome. Do you guys know how a toilet works? I can explain that. All right. Book bans in Texas spread as new state law takes effect. Let me show you. Let's go through fake news in real time. This is the Texas Tribune. I didn't even know that was a thing. As Texas enters its third straight school year, coordinated book banning activity, growing number of districts are targeting library books. Let's see. Which is funny because now people don't even read anymore, which is funny that people even care about the idea of book banning. The true banning, the equivalent of book banning these days are banning people off of social media. Because that's how a lot of people get their information these days. Like people used to read books and that was important, but book banning these days as an idea is just honestly stupid because people don't read anymore, but people do get their news on social media. And so when you ban people, certain personalities who are maybe counterculture or push in a different direction or are willing to give you a different take on something, that is the book banning of today. That is the book banning of today. But these people want to be self-righteous about this stuff. It's all BS, man. Yo, Messi the GOAT is here. What's up, man? How's Messi doing? Is he still winning for the Miami team? Haven't seen you around here in a while. Yeah, man. The last couple of weeks I've had to do them on Mondays because I've been tired doing a lot of traveling over the holiday season. Finally, I'm settled now. I'm settled. And now I can just focus and maybe I don't like making commitments, but if the mood strikes me, I'll just go live and maybe do this more often. Hasn't played in a while. It's sad that people don't read books as much anymore. Yeah. It's a funny thing. I remember on a podcast, Naval, on his own podcast, he mentions like the forms of learning. Doing is the best form of learning, actually going and doing it yourself. Like the act of doing something is the best form of learning. The next step is like being taught it by a mentor, I think, or something, and still being hands-on. Then the next one is reading. Then the next one's listening. And then the final one is watching or whatever, something like that. But basically reading is up there in terms of like retention and information because it is dense too. It's a lot of information. We don't care about this. Say free. No, I'm not going to say that. My position is like to not get involved one way or the other. We're not going to talk about the Israel-Palestine. I don't care to pick a side. Did you see Kanye's apology to the Jewish community? I care about this. Yeah, I saw the apology. I'm not sure. Kanye apology. I'll read it to you guys. Rapper Ye, formerly Kanye West, has a long history of making issues and apology in Hebrew. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot it was in Hebrew. You think he used Google Translate for that? Did you think he found a Jewish friend to write that for him? I sincerely apologize to the Jewish community for any unintended outburst caused by my words or actions. Is that an apology? It was not my intention to offend or demean, and I deeply regret any pain I may have caused, continued the rapper. The statement arrives less than 2 weeks. Whatever, I'm not going to read their stuff. After causing untold damage by using his vast influence. Wait, what? And then people criticize his apology. See, here's the thing. This is why you should never apologize, because people cannot take apologies well, publicly at least. If it's someone you've done wrong personally and they don't hold any grudges or they don't hate you in any way and they're a close friend that their character is true and they can give you grace, cool, apologize to them. But most people cannot take an apology, which is why the advice is typically never apologize, because people won't take it well. They'll still criticize you. Oh, the apology. Oh, it was wrong this way. Oh, we don't excuse this. You still got to do this. And so it's just used as a way to tar and feather you again. And so it's just like, man. And the funny thing is, he's apologizing for a misunderstanding of the terminology he used, DEFCON. He didn't even know what it meant. Whatever, dude. No way he learned Hebrew. Yeah, for sure. He did it to drop his album so that he could get a record label. Maybe. Say free Palestinian or reported. You're kind of acting Palestinian with that kind of comment, OG. You better say it now. You better give up this land or I will hurt you. Is that the kind of energy you're giving off right now? Here's the thing. There are no good sides in this conflict, okay? On the one hand, you can't just be indiscriminately killing people. Okay, come on, man. Like, civilians are no-goes. But then at the same time, I know the history of the Israelis and what did they do to their immigrants? Their African immigrants, they sterilized them secretly. That was crazy. That was a crazy story to read. I don't know if it's true, but I can see that being a thing. Because the media has blacklisted him. Yeah. Would you ever try to go vegan? I need the protein, man. So I don't know if I can get enough protein from non-vegan sources or from vegan sources. I do like Greek yogurt though. So maybe I could just eat tubs of those. but I never considered it. I don't even eat meat that much, so I'm kind of like half vegan. But you can't be half vegan because as soon as you eat any, although I do eat turkey sandwiches all the time, so. But vegan means I can't eat Greek yogurt either because that comes from dairy. So no, I've never considered going vegan. Maybe vegetarian. How can I stop stressing over death or deer? Do you mean death, Muhammad Ali? Religion can help with this, I think. The concept of an afterlife can bring you some peace. If you're not religious, then I don't know how to help you, man. Like, unless you take pills, you're not going to be healthy while being vegan. I don't know. I think you could make it work if you're aware, you do blood work, or you're aware of your biology, you listen to what your cravings are. Like, I'm sure there are non-animal proteins that you can consume, like pea protein or something, or I don't know. I'm sure there is a way. I'm sure there are vegans out here who are successfully getting enough of the things that they need. But it is interesting. Like, I did have a conversation with someone who was vegan once, where she gets a lot of hate from non-vegan people. And it's weird how that works out because it's like she's not trying to impose her lifestyle on anybody else, but people have a problem with her lifestyle unsolicited. They'll just like criticize her for, I don't understand. Like, if a person wants to abide by a certain set of consumption standards, let them. Like, you don't have to. You can say they're crazy, but whatever. No, I'm scared of losing my family, not myself. Oh, that's a tougher one. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. How do are they like in a compromised situation? Is that why it's on your mind a lot right now, or is it just like thinking about the future, a dark future? Because yeah, that is a good question, Messi. Are you religious? Hi, am I Somali? Close. Family's East African, Eritrean. But yeah, it's funny. Like, my dad watches these. He's like, people always ask you where you're from or like what your ethnicity is. And yeah, it's like, why do they want to know? So it's like, I probably look at Robert Badley. You're handsome. I appreciate it. What is your religion? I grew up Muslim, but I've been reading the Bible a lot lately. I really like the teachings of Jesus. Yeah, it's weird to say. I don't know. Anytime I hear people say the word Jesus, it always sounds weird to me. So I just say Lord instead. But yeah, the Bible is a profound document or book, I would say. And what do they say? It's the truth. I don't know. I've just been reading it a lot, and a lot of it appeals to me. And the concept, it's different than Judaism and Islam. It's different, where the main message is love. Like, love, like if everyone loved each other, imagine the world we would live in. And it's God loving people enough to sacrifice himself for our sins. And that's a crazy concept if you think about it. Like, the other religions don't teach that God would sacrifice himself for you. You know, in the other, I can't speak much on Judaism, but in Islam, like, God is but to sacrifice yourself for your creation, that's a love, and to live that way too, which is why it's tough. It's a tough way to live. So, love you, my East African brother. I'm Somali, so I was close. Yeah, you were close. Rax. Very close. J didn't exist until the 16th century. Okay. It was Isis in Hebrew. Okay. Where do you get your morals from? I think it comes from my Muslim background, honestly. Like, I was very religious as a kid. Islam, Muslim stuff. But originally, Yahweh. Yeah, true. But I mean, I've just been gravitating towards Christianity a lot. I don't know if I feel comfortable calling myself a Christian yet. I think that would, although I did have a spiritual moment a couple of weeks ago, like, where it all just clicked. Like that born again thing that people say, I felt that. And it's funny because like I know my dad's gonna watch this. He's like, he noticed how I stopped cursing in my videos, and it wasn't a content decision. Like, oh, I can appeal to more people if I cleaned up my language. It's like, no, it's because I had a spiritual moment where I was born again. Like, and all the stuff I used to do, I no longer want to do. Like the things that I used to do disgust me now. So even like the cursing stuff, that was like literally after that day, I just don't care to do it anymore. Like the things like right after that moment, it's like I was experiencing the world differently. Now, I think this is what people call the connection with the Holy Spirit. This is the concept in Christianity, but that's why I stopped cursing. And even now, like I catch myself when I'm about to curse. And like if it's in some written form, I'm not going to take away from the art, and I'll say the word if it's in some sort of written thing that I'm reading. But I personally just don't curse anymore. It's because I find it off-putting because I've changed as a person through that experience. It's just weird. It's hard to describe unless you've had one yourself. And I was lucky enough to share it with someone close to me who helped me through it. But that's as far as I can speak on it at this point. Hi, I'm driving home. LOL. All right, get home safe. Try not to be distracted by the comment. Just listen to my voice. And let's get you home safe. Stay religious. Yeah, I'll try my best. It's a translation. Yeah. Muhammad. Hi, I'm Ali. That's the power of Christ. Yeah, man. No, stay Muslim. Let's talk about religion. I mean, dude, what speaks to you speaks to you. I think Reza Aslan had a good point about religions and how it's just the different religions are different ways to find your connection with the divine and your relationships with God. And so it's not about like which religion's right or wrong. It's about what speaks to you so that you can have that connection. At least that's the way he framed it. And I thought that was an interesting way. I don't care to tell people one way is right, one way is wrong, or this way is right, this way is wrong. Everyone's going to believe their version of religion is right. But I started looking at Islam again, but from a outsider's point of view, like considering I've been pursuing the Christianity stuff. And I'm just like, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not as, I don't know, but it's not as profound as I once thought it was. As a kid, like all the stuff I was taught, and I remember going to Islamic school and everything. But then I was thinking to myself, if I were going to make a religion that appealed to people's base desires, right? Their flesh, how would I design it? And you find a lot of those features in Islam. And I'm just like, I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm just going to say it's not as deep and profound as I've found Christianity to be. That's what I'll say at this point. But, I still got a lot of research to do, so I'm not going to speak much more on it. And I'm not looking to convert anyone, at least not yet. But maybe that is my calling. I don't know. I don't care to be one of these like people, content creators who sell religion because they do it for clout. Let him find his way through experience. Yeah. Would you get LASIK? Do you wear contacts? Maybe in the future I will get LASIK, but my eyes aren't that bad. So I do wear them most of the day, but they're not that bad. So it's hard to justify at this point. If they get worse, then maybe I would. Singer-songwriter. How do I say your name? Monlay? Monica? She says, I love you. I appreciate it. Let's talk about Jesus. Okay. I don't know much about the guy. I want to read Reza Aslan's book about Jesus, the man, because I think the way I see it right now is I admire Jesus, the man. I respect the Father, and I really appreciate the Holy Spirit. And I know this is hard for Muslims to understand. It's like, wait, what do you mean? How could they all be God? And I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but there's an explanation. I can't give it right now, but there's an explanation of it being one entity, three forms kind of thing. Or not three entities, one form. I don't know. I haven't quite wrapped my head around it just yet. It's a foreign thing for someone who grew up in from a Muslim background to understand the whole Trinity thing. What if no religion speaks to a person, like atheism, agnostic? That's fine. I mean, that's your path. One of the things that Christianity teaches is like, it's all ordained. It's not in your control. And that was the one line that triggered my experience. I'm not in control. And this whole time, like, I've been trying to like force things, have all these plans and like my mission and what I intend to do in this world. And then finally, at some point through a series of events, got to the point where I realized I'm not in control. And that's what like caused that spiritual experience for me. And accepting that it's not my plan. And this is what I didn't understand. There was a guy here, Pyro. It's like a 16-year-old kid who is big into divinity and stuff. And he was explaining like the whole ordained stuff. Now that makes way more sense to me. I didn't understand it. And this whole message, at least the Bible tries to teach, is that, look, the message of the Bible is not for everybody. It's only there for people who are ready to hear it. And so like, it sucks if you're, I don't know if it sucks. It's not in the plan. If it doesn't speak to you, if it doesn't speak to you, maybe it doesn't speak to you yet. And for me, that's what it was. This whole time I've been searching for this connection with God. And I wasn't finding it until that moment hit. And then now I see it there. Now, my struggle lately has been maintaining that connection. And that's where the work is, I think. But I'm still working my way through it. So as far as someone where religion doesn't speak to them, one advice I heard someone say on a podcast is live that way for like a month. Just assume that you are that for a month and see what happens to you. So pick a religion, and see what happens. I don't know. That's all I can say. But it's not my advice. It's something I heard on a podcast once. Jesus, just go to the masjid and talk to a sheikh. I like to read the book. I've heard plenty. I've been to like masjid prayers, all that stuff. Friday salat and the khutbahs and all that. Vsauce but black. Yeah, kind of. For real, brother. Trust me. Bye. Okay. Bye. I'm driving on the edge of a mountain in Virginia right now. It's one road. Then Bible only makes sense to you if you're ready. If you're dead set on Christ being false, you can't understand it. Yeah, that's true. And so it's like, it kind of makes sense to me how like people, because I've been watching like a lot of YouTube videos on Nabil Qureshi. He was formerly Muslim and converted to Christianity. And like the Muslims arguing with him, like they don't get it. Like, because the message isn't for you. Like, and it just, which I'm sure is true for like people who aren't Muslim. Like reading the Quran doesn't make any sense to you if you're not Muslim. Now, I think Muslims like to pretend like it makes sense to everybody. It's like, it's beautiful, whatever. It's just like, if you're not religious, none of it makes sense. And so, hey, yo, Jesus loves you, bro. Be safe. Have a good night. Jesus loves you too, Jordan. I appreciate it. Yeah. I love Jesus. Yeah, there you go. I got a question. Go for it. Wild man. Go for it. Content creator, CC editor, YouTuber, 300 plus subs, space enthusiast, music maker. What's up, man? What's your question? I don't know how my dad's going to take this though, because he watches my live streams and he is Muslim. So I think he'll be all right with it, but he should know that I've been heading in this direction if he's been watching my live streams. So surprise, Dad. I'm possibly a Christian. Could you give one of my songs a listen? Need someone's opinion? Yeah, DM it to me, man. Yeah, and if you want to, because literally tomorrow I have a podcast scheduled with another musician or artist. We're going to talk about content creation and stuff. So if after I take a listen, if you want to come on the pod and talk about it, or share, it's a platform to share your music and we can talk about the creation process and whatever. Do you speak Tigrinya? No. I do understand it a little bit though, which is funny because like I was at this wedding. It was a cultural wedding, bunch of Eritreans and stuff. And one lady stopped me. Apparently it's an aunt, aunties as they call them. And she was just speaking Tigrinya to me. And I was just like, I was catching like most of the words, but not all of them. Because it's been a while since I've had to exercise that ear. But yeah. And for those of you who don't know, Tigrinya is the main language spoken in Eritrea, which is a small country in the the Horn of Africa. Think of like Ethiopia, but they're a branch that basically got independence from Ethiopia. Has anyone ever called you Hood Vsauce or Hood Sauce? No, that's a funny name, but I'm not hoodish in any way, so it wouldn't make sense, other than just me being black or like looking black. But people have called me like similar to Andrew Tate, and I kind of joked that I'm the Habesha Tate, or like you guys don't know. I haven't talked that much or that harsh about like women or gender dynamics in this, so you guys don't know. But I have some strong opinions about that stuff too. It's called The Rise. It's on YouTube. Let me check it out. YouTube, The Rise, The Rise. Whit Lowry, is that you? Or I don't know. That's the first thing I see. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. It's on YouTube. Do you have IRL vinyls? Wait, you mean like the ones that they put with the needle and everything? No, I don't. And a record player? No, I don't. Would you like to submit? Do you want to submit? What do you mean? To God? Already did. To what? No. All right, so what's your username? Or what's the channel name? Wildman 13. Got it. Cool. Would you want me to play it? I could play it for everybody if you want. That's on you, though, if you want me to. Let me pull out the extra microphone in case you say yes. But I can't play it if... Well, no, it's going to get the live banned. Sorry. If I knew it wouldn't like possibly jeopardize the live, I would play it if you wanted me to. So I have to be careful with... Lives are weird, bro. Thoughts on Ethiopia, Somaliland port deal? Yeah, my dad actually mentioned this to me. It's funny because Somaliland doesn't technically have like recognition by the international community. Apparently that's what my dad was explaining to me. And how, so for those of you who don't know, Ethiopia, I believe, is a landlocked country, meaning they don't have access to the ocean. Literally, they're surrounded by other countries. And so this is a problem when it comes to commerce and trade, because most commerce happens via ships, like some 80, 90%, something like that. It's a crazy amount. People think like things get shipped when it's all on air travel. No. It's all ships. And so you can imagine how this could really hamper the economy of a landlocked country when you don't have access to an ocean to be able to. So then you basically have to go through your neighbors. And so they've been trying to do deals with neighboring countries. One country was Eritrea, and I guess that deal fell through. Deal didn't happen. But Somalia apparently has this like faction where there's Somaliland and then the main Somalia. And so you have like the main recognized country, Somalia, which is the entire country as you would see it on a map. But apparently there's a part of it, Somaliland, that's rebels or like their own faction thing, but isn't recognized by the international community, who Ethiopia has actually done a deal with to have access to the ocean. So it's like, all right, you just made a deal with an entity or a region that isn't recognized, that isn't a recognized country. And so like, does your deal stand? And so now that's the question right now. Now, do I have an opinion on it? I don't know. It's a tough position Ethiopia is in because like landlocked, just to confirm. Yeah, because of the existence of Eritrea, which was like a big portion of Ethiopia's like access to the Red Sea, essentially. The independence of Eritrea made Ethiopia a landlocked country. And so like, it's a tough thing. I don't have an opinion on it. Like if they make a deal with, I don't know, like, is your country real only because other people recognize it? Or is your country because you guys decide to declare yourselves a country? I don't know. By international standards, no. By I do what I want standards, yes. So it's just like, whatever, dude. If people want to call themselves their own country, like, try to tell me that I'm not what I am. Try to tell me and you and whoever wants to be a part of this isn't an entity called Table Moments. Tell me that. It's just like, whatever. They can ban me off these platforms and we're still table moments. I don't care what people say. So I kind of mess with that energy a little bit. But at the same time, like, whatever. It's a funny situation they find themselves in. Do you think there is animosity between Africans and African Americans in the U.S.? Interesting that you say that. Let me catch up with other comments and I'll answer that. Yo, we rather you not. Have you ever been to Sudan? I notice a lot of Eritreans are either born there or live there. No, I haven't been. Interesting though. It's fine. My song isn't copyrighted. I know, but like TikTok's algorithms is hella sensitive. I've been banned before, several times actually. I don't know how, because I can play music on the YouTube stream, which is what I did when I opened the stream 20 minutes prior to the TikTok stream. So I will look through the terms, but I will listen to it. I will listen to it and DM me just so I can have conversation with you after about it. Just, yeah, DM me right now just so I can read it after this. Really, I made a really nice song. It's called The Rise. Can you say shout out to New Orleans? Shout out to New Orleans. Somaliland has no legitimacy. They're ethnically Somali and have brown apart on clan lines, broken apart on clan lines. Yeah, like my dad explained, like tribal issues. I don't think African Americans understand how Africans are tribal. They are actually tribal, like, Kunta Kinte type stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's not Kunta Kinte. I just made a insensitive joke, but yes, Africans are tribal. Like apparently my family belongs to the Tigray tribe. That's a thing. It's tribal. It's just like, it blew my mind when I learned this in high school. I'm like, y'all really talking about tribes in like now? It's just wild how it is, but I'm sure my dad's going to correct me on it when give me a call. Dad, give me a call if you have any opinions on tribes and you want me to talk about it on TikTok. Let me get back to that question that Khalil mentioned. Do you think there is any animosity between African Americans, between Africans and African Americans in the U.S.? I'm going to restate that as Africans and Black people in America. I don't know if there's animosity, because if you look at the definition of animosity, define. Let's see, strong hostility. I don't think there's strong hostility. There is a sort of disassociation that Africans sort of have with the Black community. And just to explain it a little more, for those of you who aren't aware, like Africans don't really get along with Black people. And it's because if you understood how brutal a lot of the lives of Africans have been and the lack of opportunity that they've had in their home country, and they've managed to make it here to America to build a better life, and then they see people who look just like them, which are Black people, who are squandering the opportunity that they had by being born here. Dude, it's hard to describe how bad it is back home, like in Africa. It's hard to describe. Like, there is no freedom of the press. There is a lot of oppression. There in Eritrea, there's forced conscription. People are forced to serve the military. And so whatever conflicts they get into, no matter how stupid or whatever the disputes about, young people die. There's a lack of opportunity. Eritrea is like the North Korea of Africa, kind of, where they are sort of isolated from the world. And so there is a lack of opportunity. They are stuck in time, essentially. You look at their infrastructure, look at the vehicles. They don't have imports of like modern things. And so they are stuck in time. Jobs are unplentiful. Economic prosperity isn't there. And then they come to America and they're like, wow, you guys are free to do whatever you want. You're free to educate yourselves. Like public schools free for a lot of you, and yet you guys don't graduate. A large percentage of you don't graduate. A lot of you don't pursue college degrees and all that stuff to actually build a better life for yourself. And you were born here and you speak English. And then, so it's sort of like, I wouldn't say disgust. It's just like, it does rub them the wrong way for sure. And so like, if you look at the community I grew up in, my parents decided to get with a lot of people who were like them, a lot of East African immigrants who also were all Muslim. And so if you look at all the kids of those immigrants who came here, all of us graduate high school. Pretty much all of us go to college. All of us study like We all get corporate jobs. We all are become more successful. It's crazy, the rate of success, at least on paper, as most people would describe in America, like getting that white collar job with a bachelor's degree minimum. A lot of us end up getting master's degrees and stuff. And then they look at the black community and like, you guys could do this too. What's going on? And then, and so that's where the like sort of disassociation comes in, I think. There's nuance there, but it's not necessarily all black people in America. It's just a majority of them tend to not be able to have productive lives just following that same basic path of education. Now, there are plenty of black people who do, but as a population, what do you see in the culture? You see a lot of violence, you see the hoods, you see ghettos, you see single motherhood, like all the immigrants, my parents included, they're all married, all of them. And they all have plenty of kids. And all the fathers were there, all of them. And so it's just like, yeah, you see the stark difference between the two. And then if you look at like the rates of acceptance of African Americans or black people in colleges and universities, you start realizing like those are mostly children of immigrants. And then you start realizing, oh, so it's not even making up for the disparities of like black Americans, which is, I think, the messed up part about this. When you want to like fix racial disparities in like institutions that have been predominantly white or at least excluded or didn't include a lot of black people, the people who are actually taking advantage of these turn out to be immigrants or children of immigrants who appear black to white America. And so there's a lot of nuance here. And so it's interesting. Let me catch up with comments though. New Orleans. It's not New Orleans. It's Orleans. So you pronounce it New Orleans. How do you feel about the damage Katrina has had on New Orleans? Like how we have no record label despite how many artists we have here? I don't know about the music aspect. I don't know if I would imagine Katrina and the ramifications of it still affect people there today. Because it's like once the damage has been done, like who can do the rebuilding? It's a shame. It's a shame. I don't know about the music industry though. Like, I would like to think that successful artists would come back and start their own record label. If the talent is there, why isn't there a label there? Why isn't someone who was formerly there go start a label there? That'd be interesting. Like during the civil rights movements, yeah. I have Jamaican parents, so I get what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, what was it? The war on poverty, I think, ruined the black community. Also, the whole war on drugs stuff ruined the black community. You realize like all these war on stuff that are intended to help people end up hurting people in the long term. When you give people social aid and tell them they don't have to work, you take away their incentive to make something of themselves. And then no wonder generations later, you get what we have now. That's one explanation for this. Is that the only one? No, I think it's a multitude of things. Plus, drugs into the communities, which, I mean, there were sections of that community who supplied those drugs to their own community, which is why my problem with Jay-Z, like, I don't care what anybody says, like, you sold drugs to your own community, bro. Like, I'll never see him as, you can say he's a great artist or whatever, but he'll always be in that black book for me for doing that. What are your thoughts about being friends with benefits with a girl after breaking up with her? I've done it before, man. Yeah. Here's the thing. If you caught me just a few weeks ago, I would have been like, oh, that's totally fine, But through my religious experience, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, okay? I'm not going to impose my morality on you. Although I have done that before. Friends with benefits with a girl after breaking up with her. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. It's good for her because she doesn't increase her body count. And she gets laid, and it's something she's familiar with. So she doesn't have to worry about safety or trying with a new guy. It's good for you too, because you get to smash. You get an outlet too without the responsibilities of a relationship, and things are more casual, and things can actually be more fun than when you're in a relationship because you don't have the burdens and expectations that come with the relationship. So, you know, if you must have premarital sex and you were formerly in a relationship, it is a win-win for you guys, for both of you. So that's my opinion on it. But anyone else want to give your thoughts on it? Feel free. I'm not going to say it's wrong. It could also, here's the downside of it. It could keep you guys from moving on from the relationship. So it depends on who did the breaking up. So if you broke up with her, it's going to keep her from being able to move on. And it is also weird when girls go out with guys trying to find the next man to be with while she's sleeping with her ex. You know, that's a weird thing that I don't know if women realize, like, it's not a good look when you're messing around with the guy who broke up with you or you broke up with while trying to date another dude who isn't getting the smash, you know? For girls, I don't know if that matters so much, but whatever. I'm on my fourth shit. Okay. Do you feel drill and gangster rap has worsened it? I don't know. Maybe drill and gangster rap are a product of the environment itself, right? They grew up in it, and so they talk about what they know. Or you can say, like, a lot of these rappers are fronting. They don't actually live that kind of life. They're not about that, but they talk about it. And so it's influencing. So it could be that way too. I don't know. I didn't grow up in the hood. I didn't grow up in the ghetto or rough environments or anything like that. I didn't grow up rich either, or I would describe my upbringing as lower middle class. We had everything we needed, but it's not like we had things that we had: roof over my head, food on the table, never went without anything. Okay. So I had everything I needed. I never felt poor growing up, although I did qualify for financial aid for when I went to college. So whatever that is. Don't let anyone put you down in life. You're amazing, bro. You deserve nothing but the best. Love you. Love you too, Ethan. Jesus loves you. Certified baddie 100. Too swag to be a red flag. I like that. Best old gen Fortnite player. All right. Dude looks like he has a pager. LOL. This is a pager, or is that like a doctor reference? Yeah, this is the microphone that you're hearing. Let's see. Drink cranberry juice, brother. Yeah, New Orleans. New Orleans is the murder capital of the USA now. It's interesting. Like, I saw this TikToker who does videos about home renovations, and he was talking about dilapidated cities, and the one metric to look for when talking about cities and property values and its sustainability for a good place to invest in real estate is income per capita per square mile. That's the number you're looking for. If that's high, then house values and home values will maintain high. But inevitably, over time, over a long enough time period, that will drop. And so all cities eventually die. And so he was giving examples of like major cities that were formerly great and then became basically shells of the former selves. So like Detroit and all that stuff, like whatever. Which I think is like a simple heuristic, a simple metric you could use to judge an area. What is the income per capita per square mile? The density of that wealth matters too. And so he was explaining like how this was a wealthy place full of commerce, and then these few companies left, and that decimated the amount of money going into these places. And so they call it Millionaire Row. There was this one street, I think, in one state where it's like Millionaire Row that had the most millionaires on one street in the world. Essentially the wealthiest place in the world, which now is a poor town, which is a poor place now. Because it turns out people with money move. People with money move. And companies with money and wealth, they move too. And when they move, they leave. The wealth is no longer there. So it doesn't matter that the houses in that street, although it's a poor place, to build a house of that quality with the furnishings and the details that it has would be cost tens of thousands, possibly $1 million to have those same features in a house today. But those houses can't be sold for nothing, or they sell for a fraction of what it would cost to build new, because the income just isn't there. People don't want to live there. It's a shame. how cities can die like that. And that's apparently happening to San Francisco right now. I have a couple of buddies I actually reconnected with at the wedding I went to this weekend. They're in the Bay, and they were talking about how like San Francisco has not recovered from COVID, and like how bad the streets are, the trash, the homelessness, the how dirty it is, how unsafe it is, and how companies are not coming back. And with remote work and stuff, companies have decided, we don't have to deal with this BS. We don't have to deal with San Francisco and the BS of like the dirty streets and the crime and the high costs in the office buildings that aren't even safe for our employees. No, we'll work from home, or we'll move our headquarters to like Texas or Austin or some other city, Nashville, whatever. And so like a friend of mine works for the city of San Francisco. And apparently they're trying to get the city employees to like revitalize the area. We're going to lead the way into bringing back SF by engaging in commerce with all these local businesses. And it's just like too little, too late, guys. Too little, too late. Cities can die. And when you don't handle problems. My dad was telling me about where we're from, Northern California. There's a city there where he's telling me like how people are becoming homeless on a daily basis. New homeless people who basically just can't afford to live. And you can see them with a nice luggage walking the streets every day. He sees it. It's crazy how cities can die, man. And it's happening. But you won't see this in the news, though. I appreciate your response on my question. No problem, man. User. Hey, Owling. Nice to see you here. Barcelona has... or Real Madrid. I don't know. I don't watch soccer. Chelsea or Arsenal. I would always choose, when I played Pro Evolution Soccer, who would I choose? Inter. I would always choose Inter. Did Detroit lose it? They were number one. Yeah, it's, I think it was manufacturing in Detroit that left, unfortunately. It's like, here's the thing. I used to live in Schenectady, New York. The big company there was General Electric. I remember there was this like section of Schenectady, New York. This is upstate New York, like near the Albany area. Houses are super nice, dude. And, or at least they were nice. They called it like the GE Triangle, and it's right next to this private school, Clarkson. And like, it used to be a very affluent town, and GE moved out. They still have a presence there, but they downsized heavily from what their former glory, and the city suffered for it, or the town suffered for it. And this is General Electric, guys. Like, it's crazy. And so I was thinking like earlier today, like, how do you resist? How do you protect a city or a town from something like that, where a company can move out and then all of a sudden now you're a town of poverty because there's no income coming in. There's no high earners who are spending in that area, who can make it a nice place, who care to make it a nice place. So yeah, Detroit did lose it. They were number one. Apparently Detroit in its heyday was like one of the best cities in the world. Apparently, but no one would say that today. And apparently the same thing's happening to San Francisco, unfortunately. It sucks. It's now New Orleans. Do you run this podcast on your own, or do you have siblings, friends with you? It started off as a siblings podcast. That's why you see 4 faces. The other 3 faces are my siblings. But now it's on my own, unfortunately. I'm the only one who cared to see it through. Although my younger brother, he's busy with his own stuff, so I try not to bring him too much, which he was a regular part of this for a while. Older brother wasn't really feeling it anymore. Sister didn't like the direction I was going, and so yeah, it's by myself now. Now, while being married, what do you mean? All right, let me catch up with comments. Can't be without Ocean. SF won't die. It won't die, but it may never reach its glory days. It may never. Add me on the live. You wanna? You wanna go? I'm not gonna be able to hear you though. That's the problem, because I have this microphone plugged in. I'd have to unplug. And what do you want to talk about, Jose? Inter are the goats. Forza, Inter, you must join and become an Interstan. I don't know. Try something new for once. All right. I'm considering it. Jose, no, the people don't want you. Jose's cool. He's been on the podcast before, so I don't think I would add strangers, but I would add someone who's been on the podcast before. So no, it's like La Mesa de Momento or something like that. Table Moments is a one man show. No, it doesn't have to be a one man show. I want this to be bigger than me. I actually do want this to be bigger than me. So maybe Abdul Said. Interesting name. Interesting name. Wow. At least TikTok live streams. Damn, we look alike. Do we? Yeah, we kind of do, huh? I think you're more like fair skinned and you have a head of hair. That's the difference. And it's crazy because you share a name with someone close to me, very close to me. Abdul Said, just like you. No, I think he's thinner. But he has hair. I think you have hair, bro. But yeah, kinda. I see it. Are we cousins, bro? Are we cousins? But Jose, you want to come on? Do you want to come on, Jose? What do you want to talk about, Jose? What do you want to talk about? I'm willing to try something new. If he's still here. I don't think he's here anymore, which is a shame. Because I just got to catch up with comments, man. He doesn't have hair. That's his pillows. Come on, man. Don't do him like that. No, that is... He looks like he has hair. Or is that a screen grab of me? I can't tell. Because people do that too sometimes where they'll like screen grab you and then make you the profile pic. So that could be a thing. But but I can't see it'd be cool if I could see the picture bigger. But it's very interesting. Did I scare him off my bet? No. I think he just goes through lives and scrolls through. He'll come back eventually. What's the wild thing you ever witnessed with your own eyes? What's the wildest thing? I feel like I have something. What's the wildest thing you've seen? Isom sauce. Let's see. I did see some weird stuff here in traffic. I've seen a lot of weird stuff in traffic. People going in the wrong direction on the street. People trying to use an on-ramp as an off-ramp on the freeway here in Texas. I've seen in St. Louis someone driving like they were running away from the cops. The craziest thing I saw was also in traffic where there was this van and SUV pulling up at a light, but there were people shouting, or it seemed like they were trying to call attention to each other, but it turns out they were yelling at each other. They were beefing, this SUV and this van, and they were yelling, and it was a red light. And then the light turns green. And now they're still beefing, except now they're running their cars into each other. In the middle of and I'm behind it watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. They're actually beefing with each other and trying to cut each other off on this bridge, basically. I was just like, what is wrong with people? Mike Jack dropping an album this year. I don't know who Mike Jack is, but cool. Bald equal overcompensating for something small. Or they're just losing their hair. Nah, he had the biggest, I know from experience. Come on, man. Pause. Pause, Messi. Come on. You can't be saying like that on the stream. Come on. Michael Jackson? I thought he was dead. That's funny, though. Oh, it's unreleased songs? Remastered or something? That could be interesting. I don't know. How would people feel about it? Yo, are you also from Dallas? No. I did see that in Dallas, though. I'm not from Dallas. I did spend a month in Dallas. That's crazy that you knew that traffic story had to have been in Dallas. It was Dallas. No, I'm in Austin now. That's funny, though, that you knew. Wow, that's wild. That's a thing that people do in Dallas. That's crazy. Must be unreleased. Bro, I don't understand Texas drivers at all. So that's some crazy stuff I've seen. Have I seen anything outside of traffic? I feel like I have some stories. I just can't think of them. Because I feel like I've had enough weird experiences where I'm like, yo, that's interesting. Whatever. If I don't, I feel like sometimes I just try to like collect experiences, even if they're weird. Like I've been to a bunch of weird things. MFers merge into the highway at like 95 miles an hour. Yeah, that's another thing I don't understand about Texas drivers. They drive so fast. It's like, I get it. You don't want to go the speed limit, 65 miles an hour, but like, do you really need to be doing 95? And then the worst of all is the following distance. You're going 95 miles an hour and you only have like one car space separating you from the person in front of you or behind you. All it takes is one, like, I don't know, man. I just don't understand Texas drivers, why they drive so close to each other. It's like, give me some room. There's a reason why I put all this room in front of me, not for whatever. Have you ever seen SMT? Is that smut in the school bathroom or locker room? What do you mean by SMT? What's SMT? Is that locker room talk? Is it surface mount technology? Something? Oh, have you seen something in the school bathroom or locker room? I got into a fight in the locker room once. Yeah, I got into a fight. I wasn't even like a violent kid. That's the thing. The kid picked a fight with me. Here's the thing. When you're a smart kid who looks like, who does well academically, and I don't know. I don't want to read their minds and think that they were jealous or something, but I was getting picked on for whatever reason. I just can't explain why. And I was a big kid, so I can handle myself. Here's the thing. This is when the zero tolerance policy was happening. It was new, where they're like, it doesn't matter. We don't tolerate anyone getting into fights, whatever. So since I was doing well academically and I had more to lose, getting into a fight meant like we would both get suspended. Even though I never started fights, I don't pick problems. People pick problems with me. And so like for a lot of times, like even when I got bullied, it wasn't from like a victim standpoint. It was just like, I have things to lose if we fight. And so I had to just like hold my temper. But at some point in the locker room, it went a little too far and we threw punches. Luckily, for whatever reason, the PE teacher was around the corner in like his office or whatever. He didn't hear it or see it. So we just exchanged a few blows and then ended it in like 30 seconds or whatever. And then just went to PE. I got a few licks in, he got a few licks in, and that ended it. But it was just weird. Getting bullied for stupid stuff. It just didn't even make sense to me. I'm like, even when you get bullied by someone smaller than you, it's just like, why, bro? Like, I could deck you right now if I wanted to. But then I would get suspended along with him, and he has nothing to lose because he's not doing anything. And here's the thing. This is like whatever. When you're in a situation like this is why I hate like zero tolerance policy and the like stupid blanket rules that they have in schools and how they're not allowed to think or judge things independently. It's like teachers are, I don't know. You guys already know. Those of you who've been here, you guys know how I feel about the public school system, so I don't need to rail on it again. Vsauce? Not Vsauce. What view did you use? You used to have that's drastically changed right now. I used to be hella pro-government, by the way, guys. I used to be like most young people start off as I voted for Obama twice. Okay, like it was a dream written in the founding documents that declared the destiny of a nation. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I believed that BS too, guys. Okay, I believed it. I believed it. I was right there with you. And then I started working for the government and realized how crap it all is. I saw the inside. I was like, oh my God, these people cannot be trusted. It's like, this is how I get paid by taxpayers to waste time, essentially. And then when you see how government funding works and how at the end of the fiscal year, which is August, they have to spend all their budget. Otherwise, they're not going to get it again. So they spend it on stupid crap that they don't need, but they're just afraid they're not going to get renewed for the next year. And you're just like, this is taxpayer money, guys. Whatever, dude. It was crazy. Being ghetto sauce. Favorite hip hop artist, favorite hip hop album. Favorite hip hop artist, I'm going to choose Kanye or Ye. Favorite hip hop album, I don't know if I have a favorite. Ayman, you're too happy. No, but we do share the same name. Hello, Ayman. My name is Ayman. Keep enjoying life, fam. Man. Yeah. But I switched on that whole like pro-government. I wanted to go to a public school, all that stuff. Now I'm pretty anti-government. It's a pretty radical change. But it's a typical change a lot of people go through. As they get older, they become more, I wouldn't say conservative. They just become more realistic about the realities of the world, which generally mean you become less left-leaning over time. I also flipped on Trump, by the way. I thought he was a crazy idiot when I decided to vote for him. And then I started looking into it more, and then I realized, yeah, that's when I learned about fake news and how fake the news really is. I thought I knew what fake news was, and then I saw how they were reporting on Trump, and I realized, wow, it's way worse than you guys think it is. Way worse. It's all fake. It's all fake. And the worst fake news is the things that they don't report. So I switched on that too. Intazul, I don't know what Intazul is. Ayman. Vote Kanye 2024. Funny thing is, I voted for Kanye in 2020. I wrote him in. I'm early. I'm always early, guys. I'm always early. So if you're here, you get tomorrow's news today. I will tell you the game. I'll tell you what's going on before everyone else accepts it. And so it's funny, like when I was at this wedding, people are actually pointing it out, like all the people I grew up with, all the crap I got for like voting for Trump in 2016. Now, a lot of the people who thought it was crazy then are actually messing with that type of energy now. Even my dad, he's like not even in politics anymore. Because I don't think I can vote anymore because now I have a platform, I have a voice, I have influence. And in order to be objective about all the stuff that's going on in politics, I can't cast a ballot. I can't cast a vote in one direction or the other because that would bias me. This used to be a journalistic standard reporters used to follow. They used to abide by because it doesn't matter. You can say, oh, I'm objective, whatever. It's like, no. As soon as you make that decision in the voting booth and you circle that bubble, you've chosen a side. And that will mar the way you see this either side. It will influence the way you see your side because you chose a side. And it'll also make you change and it will influence your perception of the other side because they are the opposition. And so I can't vote because I have a voice and I don't care to share anything without being at least as objective as possible, which means I can't in good conscience vote. I can't. So I'm not voting anymore. And my dad's sort of in the same boat as me because he's just sort of given up on politics. Pharrell, he's asking, are you Sudanese? Oh, no, I'm not Sudanese. Yeah, I'm not. Thanks for explaining that, Isom. Am I saying your name right? Isom Sauce? Pharrell, most left-leaning people prefer Trump over Biden or more than it was in 2020. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see because it's just like I did not predict that as part of the outcomes of like all the stuff that we've gone through, that people would actually flip. Because I thought there's still people who radically hate the guy. Awsim in Arabic. Awsim. More than it was in 2020 and 2016, yeah. But we'll see what happens. But like, I'm not voting. I can't vote anymore. I wouldn't feel comfortable voting and then still having opinions. So either I vote and I never talk politics, or I can talk politics when it comes up, but I can't vote because it would bias me. And this is like journalistic standards like this and ethics are no longer a thing, by the way. Reporters don't follow this rule anymore. They don't. Man, it's a shame what's happened to it was never true. It was never honest, but it was more honest than it is now. So, and I have some ideas, like a video script I actually wrote. I can share with you guys my process. You know what? Let's do that. Let's share the docs. Let me share the process for like some of these videos. And I write scripts now. I like that I'm cleaning up the ideas instead of just randomly talking into a camera, which is what I used to do. I still do that every now and then, but now I've been deliberate about the information I'm sharing. And I kind of want to make this a longer video, but essentially I have one script where I write about fake news. And it's fake because it's news that you are a part of or involved you in some way. Let's see, Control F, fake. Let's see. I should have had this prepared. Another video skip. Here's the thing. I have a bunch of hooks prepared and stuff that I haven't even made because I haven't finished the script. Like fake organizations that sound legit. That's one video idea. like the Southern Poverty Law Center, sounds like a legit organization. They're not. Like the Better Business Bureau, another thing. That sounds like a legit government organization. It's not. And then I'm looking for a third one so I can make it a 3 because things are better in 3s. When I say all news is fake, I really mean it. So this is a script, all of it. Why? Because real life isn't that interesting, or it's too nuanced and too complicated to share in a 90-second soundbite. So they mold it, contort it, massage it into something people will want to see. It's a byproduct of the internet where attention is currency and real life is too boring to keep up. So they make shit up. You'll know this to be true when the news is about you or something you're a part of. So essentially I explain all this stuff. So how do you feel about the Epstein list? Like how Stephen Hawking is on it? I don't know. I mean, Epstein list, like where's this list from? Where did it come from? Was it from? All right, so let's walk through this together. So this is Vox, so already it's highly questionable. Let's see, Epstein list, Miami Herald. I think this one was originally started by Cernovich, if I remember correctly. Where's the? Here's what I hate about the news these days. Like they don't cite the original source. I want to see the original document. All they do is just write their own versions of this stuff. You know what? No, screw that. Source. Let's find the source. Link. Give me the link. This is what I hate about when you Google this stuff. The first link in Google should be the PDF of what. Man, Google sucks, dude. Where's the document? Whatever. I'm not gonna find this on stream. So whatever. Do you like Stephen Hawking is on it? It's a bunch of documents released by the U.S. government. Yeah. On Wednesday, it used to be a thing where they would link it. Anyone who has anyone is involved in this. Cameron Diaz, like, yes, he collected people. Like Chris Tucker, like, come on. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., of course, whatever. You know what's funny though? Every outlet can remove names from this list that are favorable to their own platform. So it's like, I don't know. So what? There's a list. Anyone who was anyone who, like, he was so in these higher circles that I think anyone who is anyone is going to be on the list. So I don't think it's an indication that they were necessarily bad. They're just on the list because he ran in affluent circles. Do you ever feel alienated from the people around you, community, because of your views? I guess to some extent, but I sort of have a screw everyone attitude. Like, you're all wrong and I'm stubborn about it. And eventually I'm right. And of course they won't remember that I was right, but whatever. That's just how people are. And if they do alienate me from my views, then I think they've done us both a favor. Where I don't have to pretend around you and you don't have to be around me. And so that's a good thing. I see it as a good thing, the alienation. The most recent one, yeah. Google ruined their own search recently. It's so hard to find. Yeah. George Lucas was on it, yeah. He was a businessman. It's just people who interacted with him, yeah. That's what I would imagine. Like, a bunch of names here. Like, all right. What is this supposed to mean? This is the kind of stuff like guilty by association crap that I don't understand why this still works on people. Like, okay. Like, let's see. Are there any other names? This doctor, a bunch of doctors here. Okay. Like, all right. Like, what? His mechanic could be on this list. His barber could be on this list. Kevin Spacey. All right, whatever. Richard Branson, of course. I mean, Al Gore, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Alan Dershowitz, John Connolly, Deborah Copperfield, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Andrew Price, or Prince Andrew, Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, they went from most notable to least notable on purpose. And come on. Taylor Swift was no way, no way. Is she on the list? Taylor, I don't see it on this list. Um, did you do you see the multiple sightings of aliens in Miami? No, I didn't. I'm gonna call fake news on that immediately. Taylor Swift was on the list. I don't see Taylor Swift on this list, but this is the independent. So it must. So it might not be true. Yeah, I don't know. That's a funny video idea, though. Guess what? The updated Epstein list, and you just list a bunch of random people who shouldn't be on there, who couldn't have been on there. Just like, what would be some funny characters to find? It's like we found, or you know what would be funny? A bunch of list of fictional characters. So like, new list just updated Epstein. Dun, 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 dun. News breaking. SpongeBob. The Power Rangers. Your mom are on the Epstein list. That would be hilarious, bro. I think I want to do that script, bro. I think that'd be hilarious. And then I have a suit and everything. I'll wear a tie and I'll do it like an official news broadcast thing, but on live, so like interesting characters. And then maybe it would be funny if I could find some clips of these characters, sound clips, that sounds like denials. Okay, so maybe I can take some clip out there of SpongeBob's like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I don't know that guy, or something like that. Of all these fictional characters, that would be hilarious. It's like, in the most egregious and unexpected is Barney. He said he loved you, but what did he really mean? You know. Paw Patrol. Yes, that would be hilarious, bro. Let me write this down. I think that's a funny video idea. Hook. Updated Epstein list. Fictional characters. I think I could write a whole news segment. Just Noah from the Ark was on the list. Jesus was known to see. Epstein was known to quote Jesus a few times. So it's like the Onion kind of thing. I think that would be hilarious. Let's see. Yeah. I like that idea so much. Thank you for that, man. You sparked it for sure. That would be hilarious. Yeah, I feel like I have to. The updated Epstein list. I got to study like news reports, and I kind of want to make it all official and everything with the teleprompter, maybe a cool, interesting background. I think I can like keyframe like the outs and make it a whole thing. Put the suit on, get the desk and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Messi. I'm thinking make it as realistic as possible, and then maybe I will copy the format of like some maybe CNN or whatever, and then put my own like TMM, Table Moments Media. Breaking news. Yo, that would be hilarious, bro. Oh man, that's funny. See, this is the cool thing. This is why I like the live streams, because we can just come up with ideas. Have like 3 real people at the start. Yeah, that's perfect. You gotta work your way in, faking real people. And then, and then I think I have to throw in some like SpongeBob or some wild characters like Shaggy and Scooby-Doo and all that stuff. Eventually, just so people know it's fake, because I can't. You have to be careful. You missed with the wrong bad boy. You don't dare. You messed with the wrong bad boy. Don't you dare maniacally laugh at me. Okay. Blank, it's nice to see you here again. I think you've been here before. Daphne and Frez. Yeah. I think that would be funny. That'd be funny. Updating. Breaking news. Oh, by the way, I lied on my resume like you said and got a job. Thank you, brother. Oh, man. Awesome, dude. I like it when people win, especially when they use my advice. I hate that you have to lie. I hate it because I don't lie. And I understand people got to do what they got to do. And so that's why I made the video that way. But I'm glad it worked out for you. And yeah. The scariest thing in the world is a good boy being ignored. Okay. Proficient in Excel. That's the thing. You can be proficient in Excel in like a weekend if you just practice a lot. And so that's why it's just like, that's why it's always stupid to me when they put like qualities like that. Like you need to know how to use Excel. Why do you need years of experience? You can learn everything. Here's the thing. Anything you use in Excel, you use it enough, you'll learn it. And so it's just like you'll learn it on the job. It's like, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do a pivot table? How do you automate this? How do you functions? I mean, like I've used Excel. I haven't used it to some like extreme level, but enough that I can put together some stuff. Don't mess with me. Yeah. Oh, that's the song by Wild Many. I'll give him a sub. Let's do it. Let's give this guy a sub. From Blue Indigo _ Dream, bruh. This is a bop. You guys want me to play a little bit of it? I'm already liking it. But I don't want to get banned. Yeah. I have to be careful with this. I still don't know quite the rules for YouTube and all that stuff. Or for TikTok. TikTok, I guess if I get banned now, I wouldn't care, right? You don't care? But if I just play music, that's the thing. Like, because if he submitted it, it's on his personal. So if he didn't submit it to any of the music distribution stuff, like DistroKid or something, whoa, he has a bunch of videos here too. And he has the cross in his logo. So I'm thinking maybe it's spiritual stuff. All right, yeah, he has. Wild Men has 397 videos. Some video game stuff. Some music stuff. All right, very cool. Does he rap on it, sing, or is it just instrumental? I don't know. I would appreciate just an instrumental, but rap is cool too. Wait, let me see. I think it's instrumental only, which is cool. I think, like, I opened the stream on YouTube and Twitch 20 minutes before I joined TikTok, and I was explaining, like, maybe a new genre of music could be instrumentals with, like, podcast clips overlaid. And I played a version of one I've actually done before with Andrew Tate, a clip from the Fresh and Fit podcast. This was back in February when Tate was a big thing. And there was this one, and I made a video explaining how the reason people don't mind rappers and artists and musicians saying all the things that Andrew Tate has said, but they say it in music, so they get away with it because it's considered art. So I was thinking, like, yo, what if we took a lot of the stuff Andrew Tate said, put it in on some lyrics or whatever, on a dope fat beat, and then it's all good, and then people could share it. But then I'm not a rapper, and I've tried writing bars. I still suck at it. I think eventually, if I put enough practice, I could do it. But I was thinking, like, what if I just take a podcast clip, like a section, because he can go on those rants and basically put it to some music. And there was one guy in the comment section who was like, yo, I make instrumentals and I like the energy. Let me know if you want to. I think I pitched it to him, and he was like, yeah, he was down. So he gave me a few beats to actually work with, and I found one I liked, and I put some podcast clips, and I think it sounds pretty cool. It sounds pretty cool as like a hype beat, hype music kind of thing, like in the gym or something, which I don't know if I could play that either. Like, if it was only on YouTube, if we're streaming on YouTube, no problem. We couldn't, but TikTok is weird with the music and the copyrights and stuff like that. But I was like, yo, maybe this is a new genre of music where you just take spoken word, essentially, podcast clips or thoughts. Like, I can imagine like some Cat Williams fire on a dope beat. I think people would listen to it. I enjoyed the thing I put together, and you have to be strategic about it. It's not just like putting the spoken stuff on the music itself. It's like you have to time it properly too, so it matches the beat. Like when the chorus comes is the impact of that statement he just said about juxtaposition, whatever. And so I actually did that. And so if like, yeah, I think it sounds cool, but I don't know, maybe it's too crazy for most people, but I think this could be a whole new genre. So think about it. So maybe I might try it. You know what? I'll try it. I have some instrumentals. And there are some instrumentals out there that are free copyright use. You can just use them. They're open source essentially. So I think I'll take some of those and try to put like the Charleston White stuff or the Cat Williams stuff and publish it. Maybe on here too. And maybe make a whole video about that. And if you see it messy, you got to see it first. You got to hear about it first. That would be popular. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. That would appeal to a lot of people, true. But I think the reason that rappers get away with it is because they worship. Like Kanye can get away with stuff new artists never could. If the timing is right, it would be fire. Yeah. I think you know what? Thank you. I think I kind of have to do that. I was thinking like when I was flying on the plane, I was listening to like this ethereal type of beat, music instrumental. I was like, yo, if you put some like Bible verses or like some sort of gospel or some sermon on it, timed well, it could be really cool as a way to spread the message of a sermon. But this could work for like the podcast episodes. You know, people post all these like Cat Williams clips, Charleston White clips, whatever. But what if it was a song sending a message? What if it was something positive, like Charleston White going on his like rant where he's talking about, I tried to build for the black community. I tried to work in my community and do this all, but y'all wanted the ghetto stuff. You wanted this, so I gave it to you. And so it's like there's a message there that people resonate with, which is one thing. And on a fat beat, on a really cool hook, like instrumental that works really well, the message would spread itself. So it has built-in distribution already because the message already speaks to someone. And then you put it to some music. Now you've created some art. So I think that could be, and yeah, I think you're right here. That would appeal to younger people. Music is the way to get to people. Music is the most influential thing. Probably, yeah. So I think it'd be cool. Yeah. I might want to share it with you though first. If you're down to listen to it, let me write it down. So I don't forget. But I would want you to take a listen just to see if I'm headed in the right direction with some of this stuff. So I can't, like my instrumentals aren't really good for, because they're more cinematic and there's a sort of journey, something more like even that follows the same structure as typical music, I think is better. So I would have to find beats that are already out there that are open source essentially. But make a song using pod clips. And maybe I can use my own stuff here too. So I would release a bunch of like Charleston White, Cat Williams, Kanye, all the big like notable characters, or maybe even some sermons out there, anything that's impactful, but put it to some music, cut it up, make it sound good on a dope beat that's free to use, and it would be cool to actually put producers on. So this would be a cool thing. That's what I was thinking originally with the Andrew Tate song, with the podcast clip. I wanted to put the artist on and Codex. I actually put his, I wonder if I can share it with you guys. It's an Instagram link, so I think TikTok is gonna like hide the comment, but and Codex, he's the guy I was working with, and he makes some really good beats. I'll see if he wants to. I'll reach out to him again, see if he wants to be a part of this project. It was originally going to be centered around Tate, but maybe it's a bigger idea. And I've been thinking about bigger ideas in YouTube stuff. There's a ton of free beats on YouTube, yeah. The thing is, you have to have the rights for it, and so like unless the author, the original composer, lets you use it open source. Like there are some music providers who actually do that, and there are a lot of instrumentals in the YouTube audio library itself, which you can use for media purposes. But if they just publish it on YouTube, doesn't necessarily mean you can use it. And so like there's a licensing thing, but there are plenty. I know you're right. So I'll do that, and then I'll write your username down here so I can DM you after this. Wow. Troll emoji dot TROLLE emoji. And if anyone else watching the stream right now, if you want to get in on this, take a listen to the stuff as I produce them, let me know. Here's the thing. I don't feel comfortable giving a commitment right now because I'm working on other stuff. But if the mood strikes me, I'll do it. I'll just send you the stream or like the link to. Um, TikTok is weird about sending links. I might have to publish it on YouTube unlisted or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. That's what I was thinking. Use your own stuff and mix it in. Yeah. So I think I have to use bigger names and then also include some of my rants here on the live streams into that stuff too. So that'd be cool to promote the podcast as well. And then also promote music producers out here. Mix your own stuff, rants, popular people, podcasts. I have DMing off. I'd have to make a new account. What's your YouTube? YouTube, just search Table Moments Podcast. Just search Table Moments Podcast. And I don't know if you can message on you. Is it messaging a feature you can do on YouTube? I haven't even considered. Let's see. Actually, let me go back. I don't know if you can DM on YouTube. That'd be crazy if you can't. That seems like an obvious feature that it should all include. I don't know. Or Instagram. Message me on Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, just message me there. And we'll see. We'll see if we can make something happen. So that'd be a cool YouTube video to make too. And I think it's the easier one to make than some of the bigger projects I've talked about here. Can you name a Ghostbusters character for an edit? Yeah, that'd be funny to add to that list of the updated Epstein list news report. You can't on YouTube. Yeah, I'll make a new. Yeah, or Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, just put Messi is the GOAT. Just send that to me. I'll see it. And then I'll know that's you. Can you name a Ghostbusters character? Yeah, I can. They used to, but people used it for grooming money. Eesh. Okay. They removed it a while ago. Ghostbusters. Yeah. Cool. All right. I look forward to see it. And then I'll be able to send you once I find the time to go. I should just go do it. I think that's a great idea. And here's the thing, a bit of advice that seems to work for me is like when you're inspired to do something, don't hesitate and just go do it. Otherwise, like that moment will pass. And so I think that moment is here. And I think, and then, if you have any cool like clips or like, or media out there of a podcast that would be dope to be on some music, just send it my way, man. And I don't want you to just go do free labor out here. Like if you're already listening to it and you're like, yo, this is fire, and send it over. And then I'll give you credit too. Like that'd be awesome. I want to help put people on. That would be so cool to get a music producer, promote a podcast at the same time from that clip or whatever. And it would be cool to find notable podcasts and then also small podcasts who have fire content, like this one here. It'd be cool to promote my own stuff and then also promote other people out here and just like put them on, because it's all just like and then I have access to DistroKid, so we can actually publish. It's a bit, I have to look into copyright for like podcasting. Like, is it copyright as soon as someone says it in a microphone? It possibly could be. But is it considered fair use because I put it on some music and I timed the editing in a certain way? I think it might be fair use. So I think we might be covered, but I definitely have to look into that. But it would be cool to start like a whole music element of all this, where it's just like dope beats, a message behind it that isn't just killing people or drugs or anything like that, but like motivational. Maybe it's something you listen to in the gym, or maybe something spiritual or insightful or teaches you. Or makes you feel something like elevated instead of like something, I think that'd be cool. For sure, I have some in mind. Yes, 100% inspiring people. Yes, I think we can change. And then this would be a whole new genre of music. I think that'd be so cool. And then I could make a whole YouTube video about it. It's just like we're possibly changing the music game by going beyond just rapping and singing, where you can make spoken word sound just as good and then make it hit and make people feel in an inspiring way. Would be so cool. What is the Ghostbuster edit for character for the edit? I don't know, man. I haven't watched the Ghostbusters in a long time, so I don't know which one. Making a new genre for sure. I don't even know what to call it. So, if you have a name for this stuff, it's like podcast music, music pod. I don't know. Like, what do you have? Rap, hip hop, R&B, pop. I don't know if it's a. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it a little more. Maybe we could ask ChatGPT. A lot of people are using ChatGPT for like stuff. Chat, OpenAI. Let's just use that real quick. Come up with a name for a genre of music in combining podcast clips, bips, and let's see, and lo-fi beats or hip hop beats. How about calling it pop head fusion? Yeah. Come up with 10 other names. Inspire core. Ooh, motivational core. Ooh, that I like inspire core, not gonna lie. I'm gonna write that down. Inspire core. Some of ChatGPT's is talk flow. Interesting. That's kind of nice. Talk flow. Audio groove fusion. Pod rhythm blend. Conversa beats. Mic drop hop. Pulsecast fusion. Beat speak harmony. Dialogue drops. Hipcast fusion. Vox vibe mix. Yeah. All right. It just started getting worse. Come up with 10 more. Mic drop hop. Yeah, that's hilarious, dude. Here are 10 more. Pop Groove Chronicles, Talk Beat Fusion, Soundscript. Soundscript's not bad. Hot Hip? No, just Soundscript. Script. Maybe 2 syllables, I think. Inspire Core. That's 3 syllables. Talk Flow. Soundscript. Verbal Rhythm. Ooh, Verbal Rhythm's not bad either. Verbal Rhythm. Maybe we can let people choose. We come up with all these names and I share it on like a story, Instagram story. What Chronicles? Yeah, I know. It's crazy, dude. Chatter flow, beats, dialogue rap, speak beat. I think I like when the name has like a alliteration or something like that. Speak, beat, harmony, pulse pod, and sonic talk. I'm not really feeling that. All right, we got a few. Treble chat. Interesting. I'll write that down. Treble chat. Hey, Jessica, how are you? I'm surprised you're up right now. You're normally in bed by now, aren't you? Verbal rhythm sounds like a genre. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So we have possible names. Verbal. All right, so we have possible names for this. I can think of a couple of podcasts. I know how to get the source, the spoken stuff. I know how to edit the stuff. I know where to get some beats, at least initially. And then I can reach out to N Codex, who already supplied me with some beats, and see if he wants to be a part of this project. This is outside of the Andrew Tate stuff, so he can use it for promotion too. And it's sort of originally the idea. I'll figure out a script so I can make a YouTube video out of it. Yo, this is so cool, man. Thank you for this, man. And of course, I'm going to shout you out in it too if you want some followers as well. It'd be cool to put people on and create a whole new genre of music and then publish it. It'd be cool to actually publish this on like a stream once we come up with the name, or like I have my own personal, but I don't want to use my own personal thing. I feel like this is a community thing. So maybe it could be Table Moments Collective. Like Kyle Beats, except the Table Moments Collective. Ooh, that's a cool, man, I like that. I'm good, Jessica. Always good and sick, been sick for a while. Wish I could sleep normally, would be. Hope you are having a good night. I am. This is going to be sick. We'll see. Now it's all about execution, right? And I've been looking for a video to make. I have some video scripts, but those ones are harder to make and they're more like documentary style. This one, I think, falls into that role of like, if you remember when, I don't know if you were there, but I was talking about how can we make this beyond just talking into a microphone, right? Make this the podcast beyond the couch. That's the goal for 2024, and the whole point of these live streams and the conversations is to come up with ideas and then see if we can go execute. And so this could be the execution part, actually creating a new genre of music that sounds dope, that's cool to listen to, that you can stream on any streaming platform, which I have some experience actually publishing some music, using stuff that's inspirational, actually help people and put people on. I think there's a lot of wins here. So I'll start organizing that, and thank you for inspiring this idea and being a part of it, Messi. Yeah. The Table Moments Collective, man. That might be, the Table Moments Collective. Oh, man, that's so cool. That's so cool. Yo. Yeah, man. And then, And so I got to figure out like right definitions, constraints for this stuff so we don't stray. And then we could just build a list of like contributing artists, because that's a cool thing you could do in DistroKid, like collaborators. And obviously I would list you as a collaborator and you will have credits to some music. That would be so cool. That would be so cool. And then credit the music. Oh man. All right, whatever. I think got some direction here. This is great. Yeah, we could get some producers. Yeah, and it would be cool like if people are like, yo, I love this stuff, and like I have some beats you can use, and people are looking for shout outs. Bro, I would love, here's the thing, like I want Table Moments to be beyond just me, okay? I know I'm gonna eat off of this eventually, but I want anyone to be able to eat off of this. Anyone who's part of it, who helps like make something real in the world and inspire, maybe motivate people to go do interesting things. And music can be one way to do that. And people who are out here doing the work, who are just, I know, here's the dilemma of being a creative sometimes, where you get to a point where you're actually making good work, but you don't have the attention. And so getting the attention is the hard part. And so what if this could be a way to give some attention? Because it's one of those things that's easy to replicate. You can ruin attention. You can lose attention by not being true to whatever your original values were and losing your audience that way. But I think like if I've put in the work to get some attention and then we create content that can get attention itself using the work other people have done with their consent, then we can give them some attention too. And it's like one of those things that can multiply. It's not finite, which is why it always like surprises me how people like when they get into this clout game, it's like, oh, you're not as big as me, whatever. And so they're not as like, I'm just like, what? I don't know. It's just weird. Just trying to, we could get some producers who want to help. Yes, trying to get a break. Exactly. And then we can give them. And then here's a cool thing. Like with N Codex, we never actually published that song and never published that video, but I got a rapper friend that I was trying to bring on to actually write some lyrics. And he was too busy to actually do anything with some of these, because I sent him the instrumentals. Like, I'm like, yo, all right, I got a beat producer and I got a rapper I know. And so I sent him the rapper, the beats that this guy makes. But I never got a song back. So I was like, you know what, let me see what I could do. And so that's how I came up with this idea of like using a podcast clip, because the rapper didn't come through. And so it'd be cool to like, hey, here's this producer who makes some dope beats, and if you want to use the beat, go ahead, like contact this guy. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up connecting this rapper with this producer, and they got in contact. I don't know if he ever used one of his beats, but I could ask. A bigger collective, a Table Moments collective, yeah. To some underrated people for sure. I think there's a lot of people making some good music out there, some good instrumentals and good beats that just, they don't have the attention. And you know how rigged music is these days. It's all about who you know. So it'd be cool to like fix that. What if we mix it with rap? That'd be interesting. Like take certain elements to put rappers on. It's like if they can write some bars, or maybe if they want to write some bars, yeah. Like the collective doesn't have to be exclusive to podcasts. I think primarily because it's easy for me to make. and I can source it. And I think it still qualifies under fair use because I'm putting it to music and I'm editing the timing of the spoken word. It's just rapping is creative work, so someone has to write bars while we add so someone raps on a beat that surrounds our podcast clips while we add podcast clips. Yeah. Even better is like when you can use the same instrumental, but like not only have a podcast version for people who want to hear like spoken word and then you can also have a hip hop or a rap version. Like who says music has to fall in these categories, right? Who says it has to be exclusive to one thing? Just because it's a hip hop beat doesn't mean you can't put podcast clips over it, which we can. We can mix them, or we can even have like different feeds where this is the podcast edit, this is the hip hop, this is the rap edit, or this is the vocal edit. So it's the same instrumental, but 3 different forms, or whatever. And then you could just have the pure instrumental for the people who just like instrumentals. And so it could be different. Like you have the instrumental version, so like it could all work, and that would be cool. That'd be really cool. I just have to look at some of the licensing rules for this stuff. Like, yeah, I just have to be careful. I'll keep you updated through Instagram as I learn stuff. And I'm thinking this might be the first lengthy YouTube video I make about creating a new genre of music. Hey guys, we created a new genre of music. Check it out. Boom. Maybe that's the hook for that video. It's like, yo, and then, or maybe I open the video with a listening party, just like we just created a new genre of music, and then it just like, and then some whatever. All right, I'll DM you tomorrow on Insta. Cool. That's cool. And any of you guys who are listening, let me know if you guys have any inputs on anything we just talked about. It's okay to just listen, but it'd also be cool if you want to get involved too, or if you just want to listen to these things before they're released. Also cool, just to see the direction it's going in. But man, hello from Albasta. Hey, film, TV, entertainment. You might be the perfect person. I kind of want to show you what I've done for the Andrew Tate stuff. I kind of want to show you. All right, since we're at near the end of the stream, or like if it gets banned now, it gets banned. Whatever, I don't care. So I'll share that, Messi. I think it'd be cool to give you a taste of what the podcast edit could look like or sound like. Let me. Let's see. Okay. Testing. Cool. Yeah. Here it is. This is N-Codex, the producer, and this was a clip of Andrew Tate on the Fresh and Fit podcast that I combined together.
I'll tell you the coolest thing about being rich. So I'm a little bit rich. A little bit. The coolest thing about being rich is remember when I was broke. That's all it is. Having money in and of itself really isn't that interesting. You buy the house, you buy the car, you buy the watches, you buy some clothes, blah, blah. It's boring. It's only cool to sit there with my brother in the fucking Nurse Red restaurant with Salt Bay being an idiot, spending 15 G's. Do you remember when we didn't have 15 grand for dinner? We never had 15 grand in savings account in our lives. Do you remember that time we were living off those 10p packs of noodles for 2 weeks? You need this juxtaposition. There is no light without dark. You will not appreciate the six-pack unless you didn't have one and you had to earn it. That's how the world works. So when I talk to these dudes, like, oh, you know what, Tate, yeah, I agree, but you know it's hard. It's hard. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. And if you're not cut out for it, then fuck off and live a normal existence and die. Sit there, letting other men enjoy the spoils of being a man, and fucking die. If that's what you want to do, is just sit there and exist, and then fade into history unrelated.
I know, right?
That's your decision. If you want to level up your character, then you need to get out here and do it. You need to be around brave men. You need to get some balls. You need to get your network together. Listen to the truth. Humble yourself. Stop sitting there with the ego. Realize you ain't shit. Most of you fuckers could go look in the mirror right now, and if you were totally honest with yourself, go look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and say, if I was a hot bitch, would I fuck me? And the answer for most of you is no. So you can't be mad at women. They've got eyes. They see the same shit you see right now. The answer's fucking no. You ain't got shit worth fucking, my friend. When they look at me, they're like, okay, yeah, all right. It is what it is. That's the game. But I made myself this way. I wasn't born this way. I absolutely not made myself this way. And any single one of you men out here can do the same thing. Things you must do.
Okay, I'll play it. That's most of the song, anyways. But yeah, man, yeah, I think it's fire. Imagine listening to that in the gym, just a playlist of that kind of like inspirational stuff. Yo, dude, I think that would be so cool. But yeah, I made that back in February, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I shared it with N Codex because like when Andrew Tate got released from jail or prison or house arrest, whatever it was, I was like, yo, this is the perfect time to drop this because it would get you so much attention. And I even cut up a video of like some of the news footage of him walking out of the place and even like speaking into the camera or whatever. But I don't think he ever posted it, which is a shame because it's like, I think it's fire. And it would have been perfect timing because that would have went viral. He would have plugged his music. People would have gotten the beats and then all the rappers would have hit him up in his DMs looking to get some of his beats. And his beats are good. He has a bunch of other stuff too that he shared with me. But I've been feeling my insides get looser after each interaction. Okay, all right, buddy. I'm sorry for doing that to you. Yeah, this note not. This could be good. Yeah, I think it could be really good. My man, bald brother, unite. Kermit the Frog. I think you've been here before, right? I would be great for inspirational stuff. Dang. That would have dude, it would have went viral, man. I don't think he posted it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You can't make people do it. And that's the thing. It's not my music to publish, so that's why I didn't publish it. But, man, that would have been so fire. I could have tagged him, too. Now, I think he would appreciate a tag because I actually have a decent following on Instagram now. But it's not, the timing doesn't make sense because, like, he's not in the news anymore, so... man, that would have been cool. 12 people, but they ain't talking about it? Yeah. What's his name? N Codex. Let me see if I could put it. I'll type it in the chat. I just want to make sure I get the spelling right. He's on Instagram too. Let's see. Comment. His name is N Codex. N Codex Music. I'm putting his IG handle. In Codex Music, yeah. He makes dope beats. So, man, that would have been so cool. But, you know, you can't make people do it. Oh, man. See, I feel like I got I have so many ideas. Maybe like 90% of them won't work, but the 10% are gems. That's the way I feel. So it's just like, but they all feel like gems to me. And so that's my problem. And so that's why I like these live streams where I can share ideas with you and you guys can tell me what would work, what doesn't. Like even when it comes to like product design, like these wallets and whatever, I appreciate any feedback, even from haters who are like, that's stupid. It's like, okay, cool. Tell me how I can improve it. And so I will. Yeah, if he's up for this new genre, then he would probably be good. Yeah, that would be so cool. But a new genre of music would be really cool. But you know, big dreams here and good YouTube content. We can all win. We can all win. So that's cool. All right. I don't know if I got much more in me, man, but I feel like that's a good ending point because we're ending on a high. But do you have anything, Messi? Or anybody else in the chat? 13 people. You know, I've been noticing like the stream, the number of people watching is slowly creeping up. Originally, I remember it was just like 4 people, 5 people months ago. Now it's closer to 10, 11. And even this stream has been as high as like 14 or whatever, simultaneous. And you guys are watching for a long time. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign that maybe I'm onto something here, that this might work for people, the yapping, as some people might say. And I'm simultaneously streaming on YouTube and Twitch, which is why I keep looking this way, away from the camera. But maybe I should have dedicated streams for every platform. I could do it. If I limit it to like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours per platform, maybe that like do the whole Kevin Samuels thing. Yapster, yeah. Yeah, that could be my artist name, Yapster. But Because I recently blew up on TikTok or on Instagram, so I actually have a decent following. If I went live stream, I might actually have few people watch it, and so we could basically have this but more frequently. And I actually have a following, so they'll hopefully get notified when I go live, and then we could talk about this idea and just refine it, and then it'd be cool to like brainstorm, come up with the ideas, then make this thing in the world, make the YouTube video explaining what it is. And so it's like a whole media operation and it's a building operation. It's both. And that anyone who wants to get involved can be a part of it, and then they can get some of this clout too. And then we can all grow together. That would be so cool. And then Table Moments is beyond me, which is the whole point. Oh man, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. But people like to hear this. They're not talking, but they're listening. Yeah, and that's all good by me. People listening is fine. All you listeners, I appreciate you. And you are day ones. And I hopefully, if you show up enough, I start remembering your usernames. So that'd be really cool. But I think I'm going to call it a close. Let me just shout out all the people who've been here. Jared, Beckett, Juan, Mighty AI, Blues Mama, user 8575, Joshua Kirkland. You're not the same Joshua as on YouTube, are you? Am I a comedian? No, I'm not. I'm just the dude. I'm just the dude who yaps. We have interesting conversations here. The conversation can go anywhere, and we come up with interesting ideas. And the mission in 2024 is to make those ideas a reality in the world. And this is basically a brainstorming session of cool ideas. Essentially, that's what this has become. Or maybe a part of it is. I don't know. It's hard to describe what this is, and I still don't have the words for it. Yeah, he's famous for his shows. No. In Russia and Ukraine. What if I give something interesting to talk about? Yeah. I mean, that's how usually these conversations go. Are you a comedian, Joshua? Owner of the Texas Hot Shots? Men's Mental Matters. Cool. Follow the Texas Hot Shots. Let me check them out. Texas Hot Shots. Is that on Instagram? Gonna have to explain that one a little bit. I don't know. The official Untamed Beast. What if I give some? Yeah, and it's funny. No, bring me up. Yes. I don't bring up people who I haven't been on the podcast with before. I've never brought up anyone actually. And I'm about to end the stream, so it would just be a waste of your time. But if you want to come on the podcast, definitely taking guests for that, and we can give you some content too if you want to use it for your own socials. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Let me check Instagram. Instagram. Let's see. Is it the same spelling? Texas Hot Shots. Is that, let's see, sports team, passionate about making a difference, join us in supporting, what kind of sports though? Football, it's football. Firefighters? Interesting. Indoor football team, as well as a social campaign to improve mental health among men with the use of recreational sports, professional football, social outings, and community events. A men's group, kind of, right? Close. Are you famous? Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Get them on the live. And what's funny is the slogan. What's the slogan? Texas Hot Shots. Passionate about making a difference. I'm not sure what the slogan is. But when's your next game? Maybe I can come. I live in Texas. I would totally come. That'd be cool. And I would make a video about it too. Nothing on the calendar. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Hello. How do you market your podcast? Social media. Exactly. Right now. This is the marketing. Or at least this is the account. One of the accounts I use for marketing. I also promote on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter, not so much. It's usually Instagram, Facebook, or Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. offering when you water from the spare palms of the start as you start your garden. Okay, all right, bye. I might completely forget to DM you tomorrow. So maybe if I do ending of percentage, no. Okay, yeah. No worries, man. But I'm definitely going to look into this and maybe I'll start writing the script or at least what the form of the video could look like for YouTube. Shout out to everyone who's been on the live, especially the GOAT. In this chat has been Messy, the GOAT. I really appreciate all your interaction. This would be a boring conversation if it was just me speaking into this microphone. Thanks to your comments, it makes it more interesting and gives people some variety here. So Jared, Beckett, One, Mighty, Blues Mama, user 8575, Joshua, Kamau, Charles Hobbs, and Black Venus. Appreciate you. And go to Saleh on YouTube or whoever else is watching right now. Or Dad, if you're watching, shout out to you, bro. No, why not? Definitely. You don't have to credit. I know I don't have to, but I did. So, yo, what up, Evan the jeweler? On my own. No, it's my beef jerk brand. I have a funny slogan. Oh, okay, you have a beef jerky brand. Okay. Cool. On TikTok shop? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. Let me write your username so I can see it, so I can search it later. I always like to support businesses on TikTok shop. I don't really support the like drop shippers, but I mean, I don't know how you could drop ship jerky. So I imagine you source it at least locally or found a source and branded it, whatever. It'd be cool. I don't know. I'm not even a jerky kind of guy. Like, I bought sake from the Soso Sake people on TikTok when they were blowing up like a year and a half ago. Also bought those lollipops from the candy brand, which I'm not even into candy. I just like supporting small things, or at least people trying to start stuff. Do I like barbecue? Not really. I mean, I like the flavor, whatever, but I just don't like, I have a weird thing. I don't like eating anything that has bones. It's a weird thing. I know you're judging me and I don't care. I just don't do bones because it's just like, I don't feel like I should have to work for my meat. Pause. But yeah, that's how I feel. So, all right, guys. Appreciate everyone who's here. I'm calling it quits. Thank you. I like those glasses frames. You can get them on Zenny Optical if you want them for yourself as well. Although the silver accents here are magnets that I put on that you can't buy. If you want to know, yeah, I put magnets on here. It's like, why would you put magnets? I can show you real quick if you want me to. Put a 1 in the chat mark and I'll do it. I'll show you why I have magnets on here. Ethiopian. No problem. Yeah, it's one of their basic models. Why? Let me show you. The cool thing about Zenny Optical is you can actually buy clip-ons for like the sunglasses, whatever. And it usually comes with like a middle piece that you can hook on in there. But I didn't like that. And I was like, what if I use magnets? So that's what I took the middle piece off. You can see the holes there that held the bridge. And then I put those on. And so now I can, when it's sunny out, I can just wear glasses like that. So it's pretty cool. And I think the silver actually looks kind of fly too. If I knew how to sell this to you or could sell you a kit, I would. Affordably, obviously. But I think this is pretty cool. And they're cool. Yeah, I know. It's pretty, I like it too. And then you can keep these in the car or you can keep on other spares. And even Zenny Optical actually allows you, they're add-ons. So you can add these for like $5.99 to your glasses order. I think these frames cost me like $20 or something. As long as you know your prescription. And then you can get different designs. This is a basic polarizer, but you can get mirror finish, like different colored mirrors, whatever, or even like toned, I think. And then you can have like these in different places. Like for your car, maybe you want these. Maybe if it's like you're at the gun range or something like that, you want some like mirrored ones, you might use those. You might have those in your pocket. And the cool thing is you can stack them, and then the best part is the portability. So I wanted to be able to like put them in my pocket, so I just put them in my little pocket there, and you can carry them. That was the cool thing, because you can't carry them if there's a bridge on there. They're delicate, and so and then just put them on. You're good to go. That's because these people have such strong wisdom. Okay. All right. So, any last minute questions, guys? I'm gonna call it quits. Any last minute questions? Zenny Optical. Yep. All right. I think I'm gonna end it. Appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate anyone watching the replay. Yeah, I don't have. I need to come up with a catchphrase to say at the end, because like this one guy I watch, he says, "Get in trouble, be brave." Oh no, he says, "Get fired, get in trouble, be brave, never stop fighting." Those are his things. So I think I need to come up with a closing statement, like something that I could say at the end of every stream, every podcast or whatever. And it's like my catch thing. It's like originally I thought it was going to be something like everything burns. That was when I was in my villain phase, and then I found God, so I can't really do that anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to come up with, but in the meantime, be well. God loves you, and see you in the next one. Bye. And to you guys on Twitch and YouTube, bye. Bye.